Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Fanboy Talk. This is TroyBoy17 coming at you live, and I'm joined once again by my good friend Mithi, also known as Film Caffeine. Mithi, how you doing?
Good. My name is actually Film Caffeine. I changed
That's
my
your
legal
legal
name
name?
to Film
Oh,
Caffeine.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So they were like,
Actually,
"What?
yeah, that tracks.
Are you high or drunk or something?" And I was like, "Nope. I'm Film Caffeine."
Oh, is it? Wait,
And
okay.
then
Is it first name Film, last name Caffeine, or is it
yes.
first name, both two words for a first name,
Um, is
and
that
then
even
last name?
possible? Can you do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, of course we can. What the fuck?
Oh, oh
You've never
yeah,
met an,
because like
you've never met an Anne
Mary
Marie in your
Ann.
life? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no.
You never
But
met a
I've
Mary
always imagined
Jane?
that as yeah, but I thought like it was Mary and then her middle name was Jane or something like that. Or like Anne Marie, I've always understood as hyphenate. But no, the
It
more I think about it, that
what
does make sense.
actually?
I'm just being a dumbass.
What is Mary Jane's middle name? Does she not have one?
I thought it was just Jane. I thought her name was just
Ma-
Mary and Jane, and then she was like, "I hate being called Mary because I'm not a grandma, so I'm Mary Jane, also known as MJ."
Okay, maybe that character might not be the best example, but
Hmm.
like, oh, well, Neil Patrick Harris, his name isn't Neil Patrick. His name is just Neil.
Yeah, yeah.
No, there are plenty of people where it's like this. No, two words for a first name is totally a thing.
That has okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just
totally
Film
a thing.
Caffeine and then a silence,
And then
basically.
okay, but then just like an underscore for your
Okay,
for your
so
last name.
So yeah, so Troy, what I'm gonna do now is after paying my what is it, $2,000 to change your name legally or
Is
something
it
like that?
$2,000?
I thought it was a big amount of money. Maybe it's 200. I thought it was
Jesus
2,000.
Christ! The only thing I know about
I
changing your name is from Nathan For You, where they say that you have to like legally publish the changed name in the newspaper for like a certain amount of time. It's like 6 weeks in a row, I think. And so
yeah,
what they did in
because
that show is they made up a fake newspaper. They published it. And it was called the Diarrhea Times. That show's great. If you haven't watched Nathan For You, it's like the best show ever. But
I should. I've heard good things.
yeah, it's
But
the
yeah,
best. I adore it.
yeah, I think they should probably update that to just Twitter bios, and then that's good enough.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
There's
But speaking
too many
of
people named
speaking of shows, I can't think of a segue to this. What'd you do this week? What'd you do since the last
Um,
podcast? You watch anything?
uh,
Anything?
no, I didn't watch anything related to zombies. Wait, what? Hmm?
Oh god.
Um,
Yeah, we'll talk about what if at the end of the show. Because we've got thoughts.
What else have I
Mithy
done this week?
specifically has thoughts. Mithy was like,
I
I was
if you're
fine
gonna
waiting till Saturday to record this podcast. I was like, we recorded the
and
last
I
one on Saturday.
messaged. I was like out on campus, and I just like messaged you because I was like, I gotta say
You're
this
like, we
right
have to
now.
do this right now. We have to ruin our
We
schedule.
have.
We have to ruin our weekly
I
routine.
want you to quit your job and show up at your apartment
Yeah.
and just open what is it, Audacity or whatever, and just I want to rant about what if, and I'm gonna get to rant about what if later. But no, what else did I do? I rewatched Before Sunrise,
Banger.
because that's literally all I do at this point. I scripted a little bit.
I scripted
I
a little bit
watched
too.
you.
I want to talk to you about a thing after this. I
Ooh,
have an
okay.
idea.
Okay, I'll get a little behind the scenes action. Cool. Um, that sounded really bad.
That sounded very
That
inappropriate.
sounded horrible. That's not what I meant.
Listen,
God, the ginger.
listen, Mithy,
I
I'm sorry.
started drinking.
I am spoken for. I hate to break it to you.
Shit. Okay, I'll just move on to Doug. I guess Doug, if you're listening, yo, hit me up. Oh,
Also, Doug, if you're
so
listening, please be on the podcast. We want you on the podcast.
yeah, yeah. That
we
too.
were this close to having Alex on the podcast. We were like
we
20
were?
minutes away from. We were like very
Yeah.
close to it. He just
Yeah.
wasn't ready to do a commentary track today, and I think he didn't really
Mm.
understand how long these podcasts go for. But we were
And
like,
also,
barely
so
missed it.
also, you gotta realize the moment you do a commentary track with High Top on a certain movie, like
I
Twitter's
know.
gonna eat that shit up.
Yeah,
Like
granted,
so fast.
granted, that certain movie will be a learning to love video. I feel like I've told you about this,
Yes, yeah,
but
yeah,
it's going to be a disaster. I think I'm gonna have to wait till December to put that out,
yeah.
which is
It would be
ironically
good-
when another certain movie in the same series comes out.
Yeah. If you're not listening, we're talking about Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
If
and
you're
then...
not listening,
Did I say if you're not listening?
If you're not listening to this
Oh.
audio only podcast,
No, you're watching it. You have it on. It's like the joke that like everyone tells me the best way to listen to illiterates is on mute. It's like that, but with this podcast.
yeah, that's a banger joke. I'm
Um,
gonna say that.
Yeah, go get some clout. Speaking of things that get people clout, I've been getting
Oh,
clout recently.
speaking of clout, go fuck yourself. Go fuck
Ah,
yourself.
ah,
You little
yesterday,
fucking clout demon,
yesterday,
you monster. I
yesterday,
swear to
yesterday,
God.
yesterday was the best day of my life. I'm
You
kidding.
a
That wasn't
lunatic. You were
the
in.
best.
Remember on the last episode, we were literally like, you literally told me, yeah, 20 likes is a hit tweet.
Yeah.
And fucking you turn
No.
around and you make a tweet tagging Josh Keaton, the voice actor, the best voice actor for Spider-Man, period. And
I
you get
love
like
it.
1,000 likes. You get like 1,500 likes in your fucking Marvel What If tweet. But
Yeah.
fucking
Yep.
Jesus Christ,
You know what's happened?
the cloud has
You know
gone to
what's
your head.
I've got a 1K tweet. I have another tweet that's probably gonna hit 1K pretty soon. It was the dumb Andrew Garfield. I got 1K likes off of
I do
Andrew
remember that
Garfield's
one. I do
stomach,
remember that. Well, we
which
should talk
is
about that too. We should talk about that a
you
little
know
bit.
we will at some point.
We'll see.
And I got Josh Keaton to retweet my thing and like actually do something of note worth with it. You know, he was like
I
actually
know.
talking about what if.
I know.
And then also the show I watch on Netflix by what's her name? The girl from The Office, the Indian girl from The Office.
Mindy Kaling.
Um, what's her name?
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
The show that she does. Never Have It Ever.
Yeah, you told
The
me about
star from the star from that show responded to me on Twitter.
Oh.
With an Indian joke. So that was fun. That happened like literally like half an hour ago. So
Wait,
basically,
I forgot that the lead in that show is Indian. Also, I thought
you're like,
I was like, Jesus Christ.
No. She's actually they're all like based from like South India, which is where
really?
my parents are from. So
That's cool.
it's actually fun to watch that show
I
because
need to
when
watch that.
the
I've heard really good things.
it's good. It's actually really good. And it's kind of cringy at points, but I think it's a good amount of cringe, you know, to the point where it's not bad. It is still a very wholesome show. But no, yeah, Clout Mithi has been having a banger 48 hours,
You would expect you got your Clout tweet. Can Clout Mithi die, please?
Clout Mithi will die
please?
when I hit 1K on Coda.
You
I
say
promise
that. We don't believe you. Nobody believes you.
I know.
Nobody on the planet believes you.
Okay, but if I were to tell you that Clout Mithi dies right now, would you believe me? No. You know?
No, but I would be satisfied at least. I would be happy.
Never,
For once
you
in
never
my
really
life.
get what you can never be happy, Troy. That's the power of life, and
that's
Spider-Man
that
No Way
makes sense.
Home.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
Chasm is an astoundingly beautiful movie, or whatever. I tweeted
Okay.
that and it got 20 likes, and
Yeah,
I
you
tweeted
fucking-
another thing and it got. I only did that tweet just to piss you guys off.
I'm gonna delete your Twitter account. I'm gonna hack you. I could probably guess your password, honestly.
You probably could.
Like if I had enough
I used
time.
to one of on an old account. I'm not gonna say it, but I'll tell
It's
you
420
later.
right now. In my time, it's
I'll
420.
tell you later. I have an old account, and the password to it was so stupid, and I'll tell you it later, and you will laugh and probably tweet about it. But it's funny and it's great, and I love Twitter, and I love getting hate for Twitter too because of my recent tweet, which we'll get into that too. Do we want to talk about more Spider-Man stuff?
Oh, of course you got hate for that. It's fucking Marvel stands.
I know.
Yeah, wait, hang on. I never got a chance to talk about what I did.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm not a good friend.
Nobody cares about what I have to say.
You're not popular. I'm the real YouTuber.
Yeah, honestly, you really are. But
I'm the only reason this thing gets
Olivia
views.
and I, so much happened, and I meant to talk about it on the last podcast. But Olivia and I, so it was Olivia's birthday last week, and you didn't say happy birthday, you fucking monster.
I didn't. I thought you were guys on
No,
call.
you
And I
did.
said
No, you
happy
did.
birthday.
Okay. No, you did.
Okay. I get
wanted to
self-conscious
publicly
because I
shame
forget to. There is a friend from high school who I forgot to wish happy birthday to, and I wished him 2 days late, and I felt so bad.
No. But,
yeah, I'm that kind of guy.
But we watched all of the Descendants trilogy, the Disney
That sounds
Channel
both
original
painful
movies.
and enjoyable.
They are not bad movies. I'm not gonna lie. She likes them like unironically, and I end up liking them unironically. They're kind of fun. They're not like I wouldn't. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Descendants is about like the kids of Disney villains, and like in this world, Disney villains didn't die at the end of their movies, but so it's like the Maleficent's daughter and like the evil queen and Jafar and Cruella de Vil, like their kids, they like go to high school and shit. It's like it's not on the level of like Disney of like old school DComs, you know, sorry,
But it is a
Disney
callback
Channel
to it.
original movie. I wouldn't even say it's a callback. It's directed by the same guy who did High School Musical. It's Kenny Ortega. And the choreography is the same, and the same. So he did choreography also, and like choreography is good. The music is like very modern, which is like a little weird. Like the first number has like dubstep in it, which is like what the fuck. But
it's not going to age terribly well, right?
It's not going to age amazingly well, but it's at least going to age well in like kind of a fun way. You know, it's not gonna age bad in like this is just bad. It's like, I mean, I needless to say, I had a fun time. I enjoyed it. Better than the MCU. Better than anything. Better than than anything. Yeah. But it's a fact,
I don't know.
Though.
I watched the first one, and I watched, I believe, half or maybe the full thing of the second one.
I will say the first one is probably. I think the first one is the worst one.
Really?
I'd say the second is the best, and then I'd say the third is the one with the treasure chest.
Treasure chest? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think because my exposure to it is there's like some Ursula stuff that goes on, and like when that happened, I was like, all right, I don't get what's going on.
China Anne McClain plays Uma, who is Ursula's daughter. She is fucking insane. She's amazing.
Really?
She is so fucking iconic. She is probably one of my new favorite Disney villains. She is so much fun. She has the time of her life. I adore her. China Anne McClain, also from fucking like Black Lightning and stuff, kills it.
Oh, I forgot she's in that great. Show too. She's in something else. Because I know she's in. Oh God, is she in? She's in Tall Girl, isn't she?
No, she's not.
I thought she is. Is that not the same person?
Tall Girl was a white people thing. There's no fucking way.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up later to make sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up right now.
No, you're thinking. I think you're thinking of Angelica Washington, who's in Stargirl.
Fuck. Okay.
I think Angelica Washington's in Stargirl, unless if that's just people with the same name. But no, China McClain, she's been in a bunch of stuff, but she has like a time of her life in the Descendants movies, and she's really good, and it was really fun. And now I'm a stan.
Yeah. Nice. I think with Descendants, I watched it when I was so young, and the only thing I remember was
they're not that old. They're not that old. Hang on.
Okay, well, I'm a dumbass. Okay, which for me, young is like when I was 13. You know,
that's fair. Okay, that's fair.
That's like 6 years ago.
To me, 13 is like oh my God, 13 is 10 years ago. I almost said 8 years ago because I forgot how old I was. This pandemic fucked me up, man. This pandemic fucked me up.
Damn. No, for me, I don't know. The past like 3 years have felt like 6 years. So I don't know why I just keep thinking, fair. Oh my God, it's so long ago. But yeah, realistically, it's not. You know, I feel like the Civil War reveal was like so long ago, but realistically, it's not.
Like the American Civil War?
Yes, the American Civil War. It's not that long ago, you know? In the scope of like the Marvel movies, it's not that long ago.
Sorry, once Brian said that on the call, I cannot stop making that joke every time Civil War comes up. It's the funniest thing in the world. It's the funniest thing in the world to me. like the Civil War.
It's just such a stupid go-to. And I love
it's so funny. But in terms of what else did I do? I don't think anything. We watched What We Do in the Shadows. That is back, and that's a very funny show.
Is it good?
It's great.
I've heard mixed things.
Oh my God!
Some people love Taika, and some people don't.
Who the fuck is saying mixed things about that show? I want to fight them. I want to fist fight them. That's like the best show on right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because we also started
the other.
We watched a lot of shit. We watched a lot of shows, me and Olivia. They're not comic book shows, so I can't fucking monetize them. But we watched So What We Do in the Shadows is great. If you haven't watched that, it's the funniest thing ever. But season 3 just came out. And also the new like Selena Gomez Steve Martin short thing on Hulu. Only
I want to see that. I saw the trailer for that, and I see nothing else.
It's really fun. It's like it's got kind of like a Dirk Gently vibe a little bit to it, but less like supernatural. I don't know if you saw it. Did you watch Dirk Gently?
No, I don't think so.
Probably for the best because showrunner was Max Landis, also known as Abusive Piece of Shit. But yeah, but good show still. I mean, fuck them, but good show. And we actually just started watching that because I was like, oh, she should watch this, and so we're watching that, and it's still a good show. But he's a piece of shit. But yeah, the Selena, I call it the Selena show. It's fun. There's a good mystery to it. It's like got this kind of like Broadway-esque like vibe because Martin Short is such a Broadway thing.
Yeah, Martin Short and Steve Martin are both like. I didn't watch a lot of them. Is Martin
Short a Broadway guy? Is he a Broadway guy? Because
he's not a Broadway guy, but
yeah, he's just an SNL guy. He's got the
Yeah, but
energy of a
then
Broadway guy.
yeah, which is what like
He plays
90s
yeah
SNL was
yeah
filled with. Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. And he plays a Broadway director. But no,
Okay.
I really recommend it. I really enjoy it. There's a very funny episode about where they
Mhm.
think the suspect is somebody, and it's like the
Yeah.
funniest thing in the world. And it's so fucking funny.
Like I
Like
think
a
he should leave level was
celebrity.
funny.
Okay, hang
Oh,
on, hang on, hang
wait.
on. That's a high fucking bar. That is a
That's a
high
high bar.
fucking bar.
I've seen like one thing of I think you should leave, and I just haven't
Oh,
caught up
you're
with
missing
anything
out.
else
You
yet.
are missing out. You are
I know
missing
I
out.
am. I know I
Yeah,
every single like new podcast I listen to, they always bring it up. Like, oh
it's
my
so
God,
good.
that show's so awesome.
It's
And
so
I'm like,
fucking funny.
I
It's so
should,
funny.
at least for research purposes, I should finish the show.
Research purposes,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think that's it
But
for me. I mean, I'm playing Skyrim again. Banger.
mm,
I
yeah.
download a bunch of mods to make me
What
have a good time
what's
again.
your build like?
I mean, obviously anybody playing Skyrim is going to be a stealth archer. Like that's just the
Yeah.
way things work. But I also kind of flip flop between stealth archer and one hand sword, one hand magic.
That's
Which
what
fun.
see. I do that all the time,
It's fun.
and for
It's a good
everything I do. And then Scribe will be
Underrated
like,
build.
no, for my new play in Skyrim, I'm doing a thing where I only use two-hand weapons and nothing else. And I'm like, I don't understand how you could
The combat
lock
system is
yourself
not
in.
built enough for it's the combat system is so flawed. The
Mm,
reason why everybody goes to stealth archer is because it's the only thing that works. It's
yeah.
because it's the only thing that like the fact that there's no dodge, the fact that you only have to block is so annoying. And granted, there are mods and
Mm,
stuff. I play on
mm,
PS5, so it's like I don't really get a ton of mods. I get like kind of basic ones,
yeah.
which granted leads to like really interesting mods. Like I have mods now for like magic arrows, and I love
Mm,
them. It makes me feel like
that
fucking Green
sounds
Arrow. I
fun.
adore it. I have a hood. I got a
Mm,
goatee. I'm fucking rocking it.
mm.
But
I mean, that's every time I play Skyrim, the first thing I do is I go to one of those magicians and I steal the novice robes. And I
yeah,
just use that for a
banger.
good like 20 hours of the
I
game,
wish it
you
had
know?
armor. It'd be nice if it had armor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I mean, I like the Thieves Guild armor. It has this like weird dark archery feel
I
to
don't
it.
like the it covers the face, which is weird. It's annoying. But yeah, Thieves Guild
Yeah.
armor's not bad. It's not bad. I want
Yeah.
to do I want to do a full like Green Arrow like character build of that, which is really
Mm,
not that much different than my current build, but whatever.
yeah. Thieves Guild armor more like the Moon Knight instant 3K tweet 3K lights on a tweet.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah.
That's my see
Yeah.
all my
Disney's gonna
memories
copyright
of
you
good
for making that
things
joke.
are yeah. This is I'm gonna get ratioed so bad. Which speaking of
Disney doesn't ratio you when you violate their copyright. Disney will sue you and take down your
that's their version of a ratio, okay?
Yeah, dude,
They just
I just
ratio
got
you with
I just
money.
got ratioed by Warner Brothers, man.
Imagine
Um,
if that was the lingo.
That would be
Oh,
really funny. That'd be
God.
really fucking funny. But
I couldn't take anyone seriously.
but I guess do
Yeah.
you want to move on to the leaks for the Spider-Man stuff? Do we want to talk about leaks? Is
We
that
can
weird?
talk about leaks briefly. There's nothing crazy. If you
It's
don't,
it's going around so much to the like I don't search out
Yeah.
leaks for No Way Home. So
Mhm.
like but the fact that I've seen it like a bunch, maybe it's just because
Yeah.
I unmuted you on Twitter, but now I'm seeing
Yeah.
all your cloud tweets.
I'm not gonna from Reddit stuff I've seen. I'm not gonna say anything, and from any
Yeah, fuck
other stuff
Reddit.
I've seen, I'm not gonna say anything. We're only really gonna talk about the main thing. That
I'm talking
came
about
out,
one,
like,
yeah,
this past
because
few
that's the
days.
only thing I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to skip to that, we won't talk about it
Skip
for that
like
long.
like 10,
Skip a
15
couple,
minutes
yeah,
max.
not even,
Probably
not even,
10
yeah,
minutes.
because we don't have a
maybe.
ton to say. I don't really.
No,
have a
it's
ton
just
to say.
cool. That's it. And
Yeah.
it's like, so 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Electro's going to be played by.
Oh,
I was going to say Electro, right? That's what you're talking about, Electro.
sure.
Yeah, what are you saying, Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, Andrew
I was
Garfield
gonna
with
say
his
something
stomach.
funnier, and then all I could think
You're
of was
not.
Blue Jamie Foxx.
You got no comedy. No comedy
quote-
here.
to quote
I'm the
the-
funny one.
To quote the Jonker in Jonker 2019, "What's funny and what's not." That's still the one thing. Chris,
You were gonna run out of jokes to make. You know this, right?
I am
We're
gonna
doing this
run out of
podcast
jokes.
weekly. You're gonna run
And
out of the same Twitter memes
here's-
to use, and you're gonna be
here's-
like, I have nothing to say.
But the thing is, we're only going to talk about Spider-Man every podcast, which
Yeah,
means that every
honestly,
podcast is
I
going to
gotta
have
make a
new
market.
people.
I gotta make some money.
Which means, yeah, I mean, the Spider-Man makes money, and sometimes
It
Batman
does.
does, but
Yeah,
you have to be a Batman person.
Surprisingly, Superman was my most successful video of the year. The Evil Superman video, and I got
Which
demonetized.
is-
I love that.
You got ratioed.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah,
But
Andrew
no, yeah,
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield basically confirmed at this point. That's
Yep.
that first video that came out looked like deep fake. That like the lower quality one.
Yeah.
Which apparently that was a still image that we all saw. I never saw that. I
Yeah,
don't pay
thought
attention to that shit. I've never seen that.
Supposedly, because here's my thing, and I tweeted it, and I was kind of curious: is that going to be an actual image angle from the film, or just a behind the scenes thing?
It looks more like a behind the scenes thing.
That's what I thought. It looks like a behind the scenes thing. I don't know anything crazy about shot composition, even though I've directed a fucking movie at this point. But I like it. Just looks like a weird shot, you know. Unless it's a conversation between like the three Spider-Man. It's so low angled, and I get it. Like you want to see,
looks more like,
you know, his beefy ass,
like,
but still, it's weird.
I don't think they do this anymore, and it's kind of upsetting because I really liked it. When the first Amazing Spider-Man came out, there was like a 20-minute long YouTube video of like all the B-roll of behind the scenes footage that they did. And it was literally just B-roll. It was literally just B-roll, and it was just a ton of movie making stuff. It was really fucking cool. And like, I wonder if it might still be up. I loved it. It was awesome, and I wish other movies would do it.
I could see them releasing something like that for Spider-Man because there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that you have to show. Like, okay, Andrew meets Tom on set, you know, or like Toby meets all of them on set, and they have like a fun little set moment together. I think we're gonna get something. My only thing now is they're gonna have to put them in the trailer. That's my main thing. I'm looking forward to what the next trailer will be, and the next trailer. I'm
also a little upset because there's another part of that video that is like confirming something essentially that I'm not huge on, and I wanted them to go a different direction. The gloves of the people next of the person talking to him.
Oh yeah,
it's basically confirmed to be Toby. Those are his gloves.
Yeah.
And if the Andrew thing is real, which it looks real, then that's probably real.
Is it going to be the same Toby? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and I was literally planning a video on like how to do Toby in Spider-Man No Way Home, and now it's him suiting up was not really something I was really interested in. I have never really been that hyped for Toby to suit up in this movie. I just wanted to see Toby. Right? I wanted the Smallville thing. I wanted even a fucking Uncle Ben scene. You know, and I'll talk to you more about the thing I was planning, but just like a small character thing, because it's like that's what we really care about with that Toby. We don't want him to, with that Peter. We don't want him to fucking suit up and swing around and make quips and put on web shooters. I'm sure some people do, but like the people that love the movie and like really like people like me and Alex and you and stuff, like that's not the priority.
Yeah, the priority becomes
what happened to Peter is what is he up to? What did Peter's life end up being? What kind of man is he today? You know, and just the act of seeing him and you know.
And I know that the whole meme of Toby doesn't quip thing is kind of overused, but he doesn't quip that much. A lot of the scenes where he's fighting a certain character, it's an opportunity for Danny Elfman or whoever's composing to just go off. You know,
like
if you listen to. And so, I feel like when they do them in
quips, there are little jokes, but it's like that's not really a factor to Spider-Man's. And also, it's not the biggest deal in the world either. It's not a huge thing.
But it's just going to be weird to see it happen in this because you know the final battle is going to be. I mean, not No Way Home. Far From Home didn't do a bad job with it, but there were times where like Tom Holland's like going up, and I'm like, you might die, and your friends might die. So in the back of my head, I'm like,
that's a little similar to a complaint you have about a certain
episode
of an animated show that came out this
that
week.
Might come up eventually.
That might come up a couple of times.
Yep, but
no, I mean like, I mean the only thing I really have to say about the leak is it's cool. I forgot that his version of Peter isn't British. Is that weird?
Oh yeah.
Is that weird? I've seen Andrew talk so much that I'm like, yeah, his Peter is a British guy.
It's the opposite effect. Yeah.
It really is. It really you forget that Andrew is British.
Some people do that. I kind of remember. I do come in your boat a little bit too sometimes, where I see him because I watched him throughout all of mainstream, and even when I watched mainstream, I was like, he's talking like Logan Paul. Why is he talking like Logan Paul?
Yeah. You know? I really want him to do here's the thing. I don't want Andrew's Peter to make the cameo. I want that to be Andrew's character in The Social Network.
And he just puts on,
and he's wearing a Spider-Man costume. Like the multiverse fucked up, and they're like,
you still wired in?
Sorry.
My fuck you web shooters.
My fuck you web shooter.
That's gonna be the clip moment.
Oh my god, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think Toby should be from Great Gatsby. Or no, it should be the actor Tobey Maguire.
It should be Brothers Toby. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, Mysterio. That was a horrible voice crack. I'm gonna kill
good.
you, Mysterio. You fuck Jane Foster. I guess mild spoilers for the movie. That movie is just an acting movie. Go watch it. It's not bad.
It's one of those movies that people are like, best performance of the year, and then it's a white man screaming on TikTok.
Yeah,
love those. Gotta love those TikToks. I'm sure they are good performances.
I want to see Toby in that movie with the Sigma Male Grinds It theme song in the background, because he just spends the whole movie staring, really, just dead inside. You know, I feel like that would pair up very nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do we want to move on to the big news that just dropped right now, or do you have anything else to say about the leak?
No. Other than I get that. I'm trying to. Tyler Goodrich, I think is his name. Very underrated YouTuber.
Tyler's amazing.
You talk about Tyler?
Tyler's
so cool, man.
Tyler's the nicest guy ever. I adore Tyler.
Yeah.
He's great.
I just started watching his videos.
Love him.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
I
awesome.
just started watching his videos a few days ago because it just randomly came up, and this dude's amazing. We gotta get him on the podcast eventually.
I gotta get him on a commentary. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, he's great.
But yeah, he was talking about, because I don't know if you saw his No Way Home video. I agree with almost everything he says in that video. Of like, people are kind of ruining it by talking about it too much, and there's nothing you can do to control it. But my fear is usually when things like these happen, more things are to follow. You know. Yeah. And the train will just keep rolling I
have a concern that like this is going to be the new precedent for all Spider-Man media.
Yeah.
Of like the constant theories, and obviously people are going to theorize a ton, but like the really high hopes and the expectation of fan service and stuff like that. I mean, it was even a thing in the Far From Home. People were
because people thought they were going to be. People thought
stuff,
Andrew was going to be in it, right? Yeah. And and it wasn't as much as this, and it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And even with this, it's like people are like, "Oh, is he say web blood? What is he? Or there's no way back, or whatever." People are theorizing what he's lip syncing, and it's.
I think the guy who posted the video did say he said, "quote so there's no way back," which he could have said no way home. God damn it.
Yeah.
So close.
So close. And then you could have cut the movie there and then done nothing else.
Roll credits.
Yeah, but I get that you don't want to go crazy with spoilers, and I get that you sometimes or sometimes you are going crazy with spoilers, you know, and you want to know everything, and you know, I feel like a lot of people were the same with Endgame, right? And I feel like the Endgame experience happened, and ever since we've been just chasing another Endgame experience.
And not only consumers have been, but also the companies have been, specifically like I mean, Disney has been with like Rise of Skywalker and with this. And with like Space Jam, even tried to do it. Like they're
and I mean, I don't
constant trying to like the fan servicey on your left moment. That's like Endgame. As much as I don't love that movie, it earned that moment, and that final fight as a fan is a really fun time. It's a great time.
And then imagine if all of that. Imagine if you had a photo leak of you know, the moment where like Peter Quill and Spider-Man are standing next to Captain America, and like you see him holding the hammer or something like that. Imagine if that moment leaked back in like February. You know. Yeah. That would have pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, and like I've always been in the camp of like Marvel is way too secure about spoilers. Like the fact that they like will put a sniper rifle to Tom Holland's head for saying that Spider-Man falls in a lake. It's like fucking chill the fuck out. But I do agree, like there is literally it's like calm the fuck down. Let your actors know what is happening in the movie. But also like for big stuff like that, I think there is like I don't know. It's just a discourse thing. The discourse is getting annoying.
And not to get too tinfoil hatty. Not to get too tinfoil hatty, but like how much of this is like a good amount of it is preventable, you know? And they are letting the Andrew Garfield thing marinate a bit.
What you gotta do, everybody. Pro tip: mute every word. Mute every keyword. Yeah, I have spider.
But then Troy, how are you going to see my cloud tweets?
That's exactly the point. That's the purpose of it.
That sounds.
But no, right. honestly, the day that I unmuted Spider-Man was the day my world crumbled. It was the worst thing ever. Really? I should mute it again. It was nice, but granted, it is the only reason that I knew about the new thing that came out today, about the new trailer.
Yep, here we go.
As of like 2.5 hours ago, 3 hours ago, I guess. PlayStation and Marvel and Insomniac have released a teaser trailer for Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
And oh boy,
Oh boy, the
Holy
title.
shit.
Firstly, title. This is like the third Spider-Man 2. This is like the third one. We've had Spider-Man 2: Rise of Electro, Spider-Man 2: The Movie, and now an Amazing Spider-Man 2 if you want to count that, and now Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Jesus fucking Christ, love that. Gotta love it.
They didn't call it actually Marvel Spider-Man PS4. Everyone called it Spider-Man PS4.
Well, no, the reason they call it the Spider-Man PS4 is because the first teaser for the first game had hashtag Spider-Man PS4 at the end, and they didn't have a title yet. Yeah, it was very weird.
They should have just called they should do hashtag Spider-Man PS5. I think that's like a good like little mannerism.
That's gonna confuse everybody.
I know, but
I
want to be able to.
Miles
I
Morales
want to be able to call it
Spider-Man PS5. Miles Morales was the launch title.
Technically,
it's a whole thing. But the trailer looks great though. You know, the trailer looks awesome.
Yeah, the suit looks better. First off, the two suits. We should start there.
No.
The suit's different.
Can we start with the elephant in the room? I'm a fucking genius. I'm a fucking god. I am a prophet. I am smarter than everybody on Twitter and anybody combined. I predicted this whole thing. I predicted everything. Wait, have you not seen that video? Have you not seen
my... shit, you did!
Yeah!
Oh, fuck, you did! Fuck!
Where have you been? Yeah,
You did!
I don't want to say I'm the second coming of Christ. I don't want to say it.
Can you...
But that's also... I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm not going to say I'm not the second coming of Christ. You know.
I think they watched your video and then threw out all their plans.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy how much has lined up with this video, and it's like kind of scaring me. And granted, it could very well be coincidence. It could very well. But like,
watch them reveal the lizard. Watch them reveal the lizard.
No, they already have. They have.
They haven't.
You didn't play Miles, did you? Did you play Miles?
No, I didn't. I just watched the cutscenes like Grace Randolph.
Little quick, fucking shut up.
Sorry.
The credit scene for Miles has Kirk Connors. Has Kirk Connors working with
that's right. Yeah.
On the Venom stuff.
And then okay. Shit, yeah, you're right.
So much of this fucking thing is lining up. It's kind of scaring me.
So now we just honestly.
So the only things
if they do a Gwen reveal, I'll just say you're right on everything. I'll just believe that you're right on everything.
I don't think they're gonna do Gwen. Now looking back on the video, that is my least favorite part of that video is the Gwen stuff and the Goblin stuff. Mainly because now Miles has this new love interest, Haley, who's a great love interest, and I love her. And also because like I mean, let's be real, I kind of fridged Gwen in my original pitch, and I really regret that. It was not great.
Yeah, go watch Coda. If anyone loves fridging, go watch Coda and comment about how I'm a dumb fridger. That's all.
There you go. Stop plugging Coda for 5 fucking seconds, Mithi.
Sorry.
Sorry. But like, no, I don't think they're gonna do Gwen. It's possible, but I don't think so. But like it is.
I can see him popping up as a cameo. I don't see it as a main role.
Yeah, I think my prediction. So if there is like a suit customizer or even a suit shader mechanic of like every suit having the black suit type thing as opposed to one traditional black suit, then I will be confident in saying, "What the fuck, Insomniac? Give me my money. Give me my fucking money." And because it's a little because like, I mean, granted, my video wasn't based on leaks or anything. I mean, this video was done.
No, it's just you talking of what you want.
That original video was like me being like, "Hey, this is something that I think would be cool after playing the first game." And the first game had no Kraven, had no Lizard, had none of that shit. Yeah. So it's just like I was just like, "Oh, these are cool villains that I like, and I'd like to see them." And I also like the idea of Kraven going after Lizard, which that might not be the case. It's hard to say. I have this feeling. So in the trailer. Which I guess we could talk like specifically about the trailer.
Because in the trailer he says the idea is that he's referencing Peter and Miles, and he's like, "You guys are dipshits. Give me something better." And then he's like, Venom's like, "Yes, me."
Yeah,
right?
but
like that's the idea.
We know. I think I need to see his wording again. Is he for sure talking to Spider-Man? Is he saying
he's like one to surprise me, one to something me? I don't know. One to fuck me.
He's basically saying like he's pulling a Bane, and he's like, I want somebody to fight me who can fight me and beat me and shit like that. That's very Kraven motivation. We love that. And I think it sounds like he's talking to Spider-Man. I have a feeling he's talking to Lizard right now. I have this theory.
Really?
That's my guess. Also, they changed the suit a little bit.
They did. The red suit is different, right? It's more red. There's more white highlights.
There's little white highlights on his belt. That's kind of nice. But so I have this. My guess is this is late game. this scene that they're showing. Granted, this probably isn't even from the game, to be honest, but from a story perspective, with the new suit, and maybe not even with the new suit, but with the Iron Spider legs and stuff, and with like fighting the Craven guys, because these are Craven guys. You can see like they've got kind of like little animal themed like weaponry. They've got like face paint and like little fur on their armor and stuff. And it's like
which you mentioned also the weapons. Stuff. Yeah, that's what you were saying. You're saying it's a little weird. I don't know what that means.
It's so like the so okay. Let me see if I can pull it up, and I'll share it with you so you can see it.
Okay. Yeah.
The like God, where the fuck? How do I fucking?
No, let me actually. I'm pulling it up on my side too.
So the first lady that Miles is fighting, is it Miles that fights that? She has this like kind of like lightsaber type thing. It's just like energy. Is it Miles that fights her? Yeah, it's right after
I thought Spidey.
Hang on, let me see. It's gotta wait because YouTube is not the best. Yeah, so this lady jumps at Miles. I'll share it with you so you can see it.
Yes. The lady jumps at Miles, and it is like she's wearing like camo looking gear too.
She's very. This is a kind of like a modern, like Craven looking thing that's like kind of got like it's like a militarized Craven, which is an interesting concept. It kind of lines up with how they've been doing their enemies in these games. Like I mean, look at like the Sable guys in the first game, and then the what was the company in Miles? I don't remember. Like the big armored
Tinker people. Yeah.
The Tinker people, but then also the red armored people. Like all the enemies in these games tend to be like they've got big tech weapons to fight their versions of Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man's like very powerful in these games now. He's like really fucking strong.
Yep. Which I mean, he also has the Iron Spider things. Which I don't. Yeah.
So
I tweeted about the Iron Spider things, and I didn't even mean that as a clout tweet, but it got ratioed in.
See, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Clout tweets cannot be actual clout tweets.
And then get hate for it. Exactly. Which was awesome. But I had like so many people call me stupid.
So I think
the thing with the Iron Spider legs, right? Let me go off on this for like 2 seconds.
Sure.
I get it. It's a cool combat mechanic. When I played the first game, I thought it was fun to have that as a combat mechanic, right? I don't like the it's I don't know what I have against it. It's not even that it's techie Spider-Man. I'm fine with techie Spider-Man, but it just looks bulky on the end, you know? Especially when Spider-Man's meant to be a character that when you imagine Spider-Man, you imagine him like sleekly spinning and going around everywhere. And when you add the Iron Spider things on it, I don't know what it does. It just makes it feel clunky. And even though the gameplay was fun,
I'm not huge on it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I do. So here's the thing. So what I was saying, I think this is am I still recording audio shit? Okay, because this is my big thing. So because I think this is late game second half thing, after Peter like loses the symbiote. I think the symbiote is going. So okay, you didn't play Miles, did you? You didn't play Miles.
I know what happens in Miles.
Well, okay, but like so you know how Miles has the shock abilities and stuff. Those are mapped to a certain button. I've always felt like they're going to do the same thing with the symbiote. The symbiote is going to be mapped to the L1 button, and then you get different options in combat using symbiote powers.
And you get like a meter for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is their explanation of how he's still able to do these powers after he loses the symbiote. You know, you still get the same things, but it's with the Iron Spider arms. Again, I don't love it either. It's a little clunky. It's a little strange.
But at least it's late game, and it's not like if that's true.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I'm also not huge on it. It's fine.
Because the Iron Spider legs feel like it's something that should be on like the Doc Ock suit. You know, it feels like it should be a special thing.
What this could be doing is this could be leading into Superior Spider-Man, because Doc Ock's still alive. He's in his quote unquote useless body. That's the thing that I've always expected them to do. That'd be really cool. That could be the next like game that they do, Superior Spider-Man.
I'd kind of be down for that, and then you get more like Miles versus Spider-Man stuff. And if you want to tie it into, if you want to end up tying it into some multiverse like Spider-Verse movie concept thing, I mean, it is Superior Spider-Man. You can kind of stay loyal to what the comics do.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think like, basically my only thing I'd say about the Iron Spider thing is I agree it's a little weird, it's a little clunky. It's not the worst thing, but I think I would have rather it have been like more webby stuff, you know?
Yeah,
In terms
I
of a
didn't know
combat
if I
thing.
needed to see it in the trailer. You know,
Yeah, I think
that's my thing.
this is just that's their big gameplay reveal. That's their big thing. Like, oh, you got the iron spider legs. You all like the iron spider legs, which is like, yeah, it's fine. It's like whatever.
I'm not. Twitter thinks I'm mad over it, and they're like, "Oh my god, what? Just enjoy it for a minute." I do enjoy it.
Twitter's gonna think you're mad about fucking everything. Twitter's gonna
that's true.
Misinterpret every tweet you think. Everything you say is gonna be an attack on somebody else. I think it's fine. I think it's whatever
because it is. It is. I am and also, attacking Insomniac.
Also, if you don't like them,
how dare
they don't have to use the fucking ability. You don't have to use the moves. You can just play as Miles.
That's true.
Play as Miles, the infinitely more.
Which that's another thing.
Yeah,
it's one player.
Yeah, I said it.
Right.
We don't know yet.
Miles is better.
Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, we don't know if it's fully single player. My guess would be yes. We don't know. I would like to have some co-op options. At the very least, what they could do is something like Ghost of Tsushima, where Ghost of Tsushima had fully single player story, but then later on they added like a DLC thing for like a co-op raid type battle thing. I think something that would be really fun. Maybe this game's gonna maybe this game will introduce Superior Spider-Man, and it will introduce like Spider-Gwen or something, and that way you have 4 playable characters. And so there you go. You can have your team for raids and stuff. Your multiplayer Avengers type gameplay, but with actually fun gameplay.
Because I'm trying to think of another game that does the thing of like you and only one other person. Every single time it is kind of like a 4-player max.
I mean,
right?
there are plenty of like there's a ton of co-op games right now. There's like A Way Out is like really good about that. That's actually a really fun co-op game. It can only play co-op, and it's like online co-op or couch co-op, where you each play like a single character. I really like. It's a really fun concept to it.
Like
it's hard to say.
Getting popular now too, right?
Yeah, that too. And like it's hard. I think ideally the goal would be they could do both. Make it a thing where you could do co-op in combat things, or you could just switch back and forth between the character, and it's like a Batman, Arkham Knight with like the dual team takedowns, something along those lines. But either way, I'm excited. I think it's cool. It's cool that they're both gonna be playable. I mean, assuming I think that's a fair assumption.
I hope they expand more on the open world.
This little takedown that they have looks like a dual team takedown. I think
that's what they were advertising is like you can do dual team takedown stuff.
Yeah, and maybe that's a character swap or that's a co-op thing. We really don't know. There's like no information out. There wasn't even an article like there usually is.
Yeah. It's 2023. They have time to advertise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 2023 is a good ways away. That's pretty standard for a game though. I think the first trailer for the first Spider-Man came out in 2016.
2 years. It was 2 years too.
2 years. That's fair. So. Yeah, and I think with Miles,
but even then, they put out the trailer, and then only at E3 2017 that they really go deep with it. So I assume next year around the same time during the summer we'll have a huge like gameplay reveal or something like that.
No, for sure, yeah. And like, I'm a little surprised that it's a 5-year difference between the first game and the second game. Because Miles like kind of counts, but kind of not really because it was a different team and stuff. So I am kind of expecting like a bit of an overhaul. Like I'm not like so
really.
I don't know. I don't really want this to be Miles Morales 2.0, which like I loved Miles Morales, I really did, but that was basically just a refresh of the original engine.
Yeah.
New moves, new character stuff, but like, new story and stuff, but like it was basically the same. It was basically it was a very expensive DLC. Basically, it was very expensive.
I know people
DLC.
want them to change swinging, and I thought swinging was fine, but is that something that happens?
There has been a rumor, and this has like been kind of it's been like a quote unquote leak. It feels like a fake leak though, of like of 2 styles of swinging. There could be a classic swinging, like standard swinging, which is what they had in the first game, and then there could be like quote unquote arcade swinging, which is more like physics based and stuff. The physics based stuff is not. I don't really care too much about. I really like the swing in the first games, but I do want to see like a bigger map, a more extensive map. I feel like open world. So okay, Spider-Man PS4, the original Spider-Man game, is like, in my opinion, is the de facto definitive Ubisoft. Hang on, drink some water.
Do it.
Oh, my voice getting weak. But Spider-Man PS4 to me, Spider-Man PS4 I think is the like de facto definitive perfect iteration off of the like Ubisoft style of open world content. where like you have an open world, you have a bunch of things to do, you have random events, but really at the end of the day, there's not like a huge. And granted, the New York and Spider-Man PS4 does feel very alive, but game design and game development has evolved. It's just so, open world design specifically has evolved so fucking
It's
much
just time.
in that time.
It was 2016, 2015 when they were developing it. So
yeah, exactly. And so it's like
6 years later.
Yeah, and so with games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and with Breath of the Wild, like, and even Ghost of Tsushima, like the worlds need to, the worlds are such at an other level, you know, than I think the game was, and I would really like them to up that a little bit. If obviously I would also like an expansion into Brooklyn, into Harlem, or sorry, not Harlem, Brooklyn and
I think
Queens
what they need to
and
focus
Staten
on
Island
is
shit.
I think what they need to focus on is with the PS5, just more detail on the individual places.
Yeah, and it's a
I want
PS5
buildings
exclusive.
you can enter.
It is an
like
exclusive. It's a next gen exclusive. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell fucking
So-
yes. It's not going to be held back by the old engine. It's not going to be held back by the old anything like that.
'Cause
And
I never got
like,
to experience it, but on PS5, when you like shoot webs with the new controller, does it do anything, or is it still?
I mean,
kind of the same?
there's a decent amount of vibration and stuff. It feels fine. It doesn't feel like it's fully utilizing the PS5's capability, especially the controller.
Yeah.
Like the adaptive triggers, I've always wanted like. Okay, this is a weird. I tried explaining this to my friend a long time ago, and he just didn't understand it. So the PS5 controller, it has the adaptive triggers, and the triggers will be able. You can program the triggers to stop at a certain point and act as a button for the rest of the way, sort of like a GameCube controller.
Yeah.
And I would really, and you know how when you're swinging in Spider-Man, you can press X to like jump.
Yes.
You press X to jump off the web, and it pulls you fast. It pulls you harder, and you go faster. I think it'd be kind of cool if when you're swinging, the trigger doesn't go down all the way, and then you pull it all the way further to let go and release, and you pull further. You know,
like a tug feeling. Yeah.
It's like you have to like exert yourself a little bit to really swing fast. I think that'd be fun. Obviously, not like really exert yourself, but something like that could be cool. I think the PS5 has a ton of stuff that they could utilize a little bit more.
It's funny because for a programming class I did like back in freshman year, what we had to do is we had to program to taking inputs from like a D4 controller. So it's it's a PS4 controller, not the PS5 controller. But even within that, our input stream for those things are crazy, And it's like, I'm assuming for something like this, it's just even more crazy, and there's so much other shit that they can do. And it's just that devs haven't had enough time to mess around with them.
Yeah.
And I think with the release of PS4 came kind of mid/end era of PS4 game development.
Exactly.
And this is coming beginning era, so we're not going to get anything crazy, but I really want them to I want this to be the game that's like, this is what you can do with the PS5.
I want this to be I want this, and I want what was the other thing that they announced for those exclusive to PS5?
God of War.
War. Is it exclusive to PS5?
I'd assume so.
Oh, interesting. I didn't.
I can check and see.
I remember hearing that they said it was going to be both of them, but that's cool. Hell yeah. God of War looks really great. I just read because I didn't know this casting. I guess we could talk about the big reveal of this trailer, quote unquote, because I mean it's not really a reveal. We all expect it. But Venom is the villain, or one of the villains, along with Craven. Again, another thing I predicted. Just want to tell everybody. It's Tony Todd. That is cool as fuck.
I'm so excited, man.
Like that is perfect casting. That is perfect fucking casting.
Season 2 of The Flash, I watched it. Like that was one of the first like comic booky things that got me.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I know you like season 2 of The Flash. He is the only reason that season is any good. He is the only.
You don't like that season?
I'm not huge into season 2. It's fine. It's good. It's not as good as season 1. He's the only reason that Zoom
is scary.
He's the reason Zoom is terrifying. Yeah,
terrifying.
He's great.
Yeah. Because the mask does features, but imagine Teddy Sears' voice in the mask. It doesn't fit. That Tony Todd voice, seeing the lines, it's like it's on his face and seeing them move, and then you just hear Tony Todd's voice. I want that with Venom. I want like. Because there's one thing to Venom being actually like Venom, whether it's Eddie or Harry or whatever. But like, imagine whatever symbiote suit, like the Spectacular Spider-Man symbiote thing, right? Imagine if they do that in the movie, because I think you said you wanted them to do that. Imagine if they do some version of that in the game. Then just imagine Tony Todd's voice in the background, and it's like just a horror scene.
I can imagine that would be fucking killer. I can imagine like scenes like towards the middle of the game, like right before you give up the suit, where you just randomly hear Tony Todd's voice, like as you're fucking
Oh
swinging.
god,
That'd
like
be
you
terrifying.
like a Joker,
Yeah,
like yeah.
or Peter talks and he gets mad and he sounds like that. Or like
Oh,
they
ew.
overlay the voice with the Venom voice. It'd be fucking killer. It'd be amazing.
You
Oh
could
my
be
god.
some cool shit, man.
And like
I'm so
I
excited for
want
Tony
this.
Todd.
I want this to be like a scary Venom again. Like I really
Mm,
like the Venom movies, but it's like goofy
yeah,
Venom and it's very
yeah.
goofy. I think this would be really nice to have a Venom that like we can actually be afraid of again. You know,
And they're
that
hinting
will
at
like
it. Craven is
no,
a
they
more
definitely are.
serious villain. Venom is
Yeah,
a more serious villain. So
yeah. It is ironic. I will say it is very ironic that the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game. No, sorry.
yeah,
The first game in the 2018 game used
yeah,
a lot of game design elements from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game, which was bad.
yeah. It
It
did.
used a lot of
Yeah,
the same elements, but it just ironed them out. This
mm,
game has Craven, which was also in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, and
yeah,
it is probably going to have a final fight with a symbiote villain, which
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2
I
had
want to think.
Carnage for some reason, but then this, Venom for this.
I want the final fight to be him fighting Venom or something, or they're all
Hmm.
fighting Venom, and then he gets stuck in a corner, and he's like, the glitch in the Amazing
Oh
Spider-Man 2,
god.
where you
Oh
like are
god.
fighting Kingpin and you like get glitched in a corner. I
Oh
want that
jeez.
same exact moment to happen.
Oh
Which
my
I
god,
mean,
I
I
forgot
guess
about that.
talking about final battles, because I don't know how much more you have about this game specifically, but you think they're going to do Goblin?
I don't think so anymore. I think they're gonna wait for
Okay.
3 for that. I mean,
Okay.
it's very possible. I think it might end with with Norman becoming Goblin.
Yeah.
It's likely Harry will die, as like a
Mm.
consequence of everything, and then like that is what drives, or I don't know. It's hard to say, because
Yeah.
maybe Harry doesn't die, and then the serum is an experimental thing that Norman wants to do on Harry, and then but he tests it
Yeah.
on. He pulls a fucking lizard and tests it on himself.
Mm. What I
It's
thought,
yeah, it's hard to say.
what's my weird theory is Harry is. I don't know if they're going to do Eddie or not. I don't know if they confirmed it or not. It'd be sad if they don't, but I can see them just not doing Eddie at all. If
I think my guess is just to keep things simple, which granted it's a game, so it could very well be like 20 hours long, so there is potential to do this. But
mm,
my guess would be is it's going to be Harry, so it's going to go symbiote is on Harry currently. It's going to go to Peter for like testing to
mm,
get like different properties, and then it's going to
yeah,
go back to Harry. He becomes Venom. They beat Venom. Then symbiote goes
then
to
it go,
Eddie.
yeah,
And so there's more of like reason for the symbiote to hate Peter. And it could
yeah,
actually be kind of interesting of like this is a Venom that is fully controlled by the symbiote. Harry doesn't have like something to do here. And then
yeah,
when Eddie gets it is when he becomes more anti-hero, like kind of the modern understanding of Venom. And it's like
mm.
maybe Eddie does. I don't know. I would like to see Eddie hate Peter because we're not getting that in the movies.
Yeah,
But like,
I feel like we could see like if we're getting daily life stuff, that's a good like give him more bugle stuff to do.
yeah,
You know?
I want to return to the Bugle. I think it'll be really fun
Yeah.
to like, because I mean we kind of we saw J. Jonah Jameson in Miles Morales. Like we see
Mm.
him as a person.
And it's more
Uh,
like a post mortem J. Jonah Jameson. Where
yeah,
he's like, I got a
yeah,
podcast and Alex Jones. And
exactly.
it's
No,
like,
I know, but
okay.
it would be kind of fun. Is like Jonah goes back to the Bugle at the same time Peter has to go back, and that would suck. But then Peter and
Yeah.
MJ could be working together. That could be kind of fun.
Mm.
I know a lot of people don't like this MJ, but I think she's fun. I think it's a cool.
I think she's different, which I like.
She's
that.
very different, and I think
Um,
it's like it's a fun like new interesting depiction of it, and I enjoy
Yeah.
that.
And I
But
think with this,
yeah.
my thing is, I feel like they might give Harry some stuff to do, like action wise, at the end. Because I don't know, I
that's
don't know if they
possible.
just like not do anything at all for him. I feel like they might, maybe not. It's not like full on Goblin, but it's like,
Oh, you mean with Norman?
they might
Yeah,
not do this, but like, yeah,
what
but
would
like,
what would be really fucking cool? I don't know. It'd be really cool if like the Goblin is in the game and he's just the Green Goblin and nobody knows who
mm,
the fuck he is and the story doesn't say anything.
and
The
it
story
doesn't do
doesn't tell
anything. Then
you.
you just,
The
yeah,
story doesn't like he's like the Taskmaster type thing where it's like he's a
yeah,
side quest and he's like
yeah.
scary and he just randomly shows up and
He's
you're
like
like, who the
Man
fuck is
Bat.
this
You
guy?
just randomly see him.
Yeah, and like it'd be kind of cool if like and then it's revealed, oh, that was Norman. I think
Yeah.
that'd be really interesting. Um,
I feel like one big thing though to stress with this, the thing these games have going for it that like you're seeing more in the comics now and you're seeing more with interpretations is this is a Peter and Miles story.
which
And
I
I think they
love.
both
I
are
love
they
the
have
fact that
both
the comics aren't doing that is so annoying. It's
Yeah,
just
and
so it's the comics need to
I
start
wish
doing that
Spider-Man were
and stop
better. I
doing what they're
wish
doing right
Spider-Man
now.
were more regular and better, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
The
with
fact that there's
this,
not a Spider-Man comic is really weird to me.
because they're taking a classic story like Venom, they're taking classic stories like Craven, and now they're putting Miles into the picture.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. I think that's something that's there's the whole thing when you talk with a normal person, they're like, oh, the next Spider-Man movie, what are they doing? They're bringing back all the okay, whatever. This feels like new IP, you know?
Yeah.
It
And
has
this is a
it
very
has the
because it's also
sensation of,
like it gives you like almost like I mean Miles isn't a sidekick and they make that very clear that he's his own Spider-Man and I really like that, but it gives you kind of like a Batman and Robin type interaction or a Batman and Nightwing type interaction where it's like now imagine classic Batman stories where there's somebody beside him working with him and it like imagine the Dark Knight with Robin in it. That just throws everything, it just fucking it flips everything on its head. And you can do a lot of more interesting stuff with it. Imagine if Peter had Miles while he's dealing with the symbiote. That's going to affect his relationship with him. It's going to affect his mentorship. It might even kind of break their relationship at the end of this game, which I think could be really interesting.
I do kind of want to see them get into an argument, you know?
No, I want to see them fight. I want to see them kick each other's asses.
You do?
I want to see Spider-Man get his ass beat.
That would be because that'd be a scene where you have to pick, you know, between the two.
I think that'd be really fun. Pull an Injustice on it, yeah.
My one thing, and I know they're not going to do this because they can't do this, but what if they just straight up don't give Peter the symbiote? That's my one thing of like, I don't think they would do that.
They could give it to Miles. I don't think so.
And like, yeah.
I don't know. Because there is a chance it might be like Peter already had the symbiote. Miles gets the symbiote and Peter's the one saying, "Hey, don't do that because symbiote is bad," and Miles doesn't listen. They did that in it wasn't with Miles, but it was with Mary Jane in Renew Your Vows, and it was interesting. Yeah. It was kind of cool.
That also kind of reminds me of a certain show in which they completely just retcon and say, "Oh yeah, that was a thing before in the last season," if you know what I'm talking about. You know,
see, I'm not watching. I'm not watching the current season of that show, so I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
But if you're watching the show, you know
I'm in blissful ignorance. My life is great.
Good job. Me, on the other hand,
I just watched the Descendants. Episode.
Yeah, that's probably better. I think it's safe to say that's better. But I think it would be interesting if they did that. I would be worried. I feel like you do want to see Peter with the symbiote, and I think you also do want to see Miles with the symbiote too. I think that they need to give them more personal tie to the symbiote. It feels like them giving it directly to Harry and then tying it directly with Harry from the very beginning. Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Remember the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon? That's what it reminds me of. And that's my fear. I want them to still treat the symbiote with levity, and that show did not. And not that this game is going to be so much different than that show, but I just hope they keep that intact. And I have, not that the symbiote means everything, you know, at the end of the day, I want this to be a good game, and I want them to explore the relationships, and more so than gameplay and more so than all these things, I'm just excited to see this story continue, because a lot of games just don't get that chance to see a story continue like this. But I want to make sure that the symbiote is treated properly, because I think that's people are being very excited for it, but there's got to be a little bit of concern of like, can you guys, gonna do this, right?
I am a little. I love the first game. I have not been huge on kind of the direction that they've been going in terms of like how they're doing certain things. Like, I mean, even with Craven, the fact that he's got like this kind of militia is a little weird to me, and they've got this kind of techie
that's
armor.
Gonna be the new
techie,
it's gonna be the new
swords.
It's gonna be the new Sable thing of like everywhere you stop, there's like a group of Craven people.
Granted, that's more interesting. Granted, that's more interesting than Sable, but that doesn't really line up with Craven. Like it kind of does, sort of, but it's not really. It's like, and these games are kind of going more into the like really like outlandish techie way of doing things, and I really enjoyed it a little bit more when it was more kind of grounded in like traditional Spider-Man media. And I mean you can even see it with the Iron Spider arms. The fact that like that's going to be the quote unquote new standard for Peter is like, oh, okay, that's almost a little Avengers-y.
Yeah. You know?
I don't know. It could work. I'm excited.
That is the one that kind of pivoted it. Direction.
It could still very well work, and also like like what do you even say? Like the character writing is still going to be on point. Like
Yeah.
everybody is regardless of like visual things of how they handle things, it's still gonna be really well written, and I'm really excited for that. But that is a concern where I'm like, I don't really know.
And
I'm
that's
still very hyped and I'm still very excited. I just hope they lean more into like traditional Spider-Man
yeah.
vibes, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
instead of just
Yeah.
trying really hard to be different. Because the DLC tried
Embrace
really
the
hard to be different. The DLC,
and
if
I,
it's written, if granted, if it's like the DLC, I'm gonna be like fuck, because I really didn't like
yeah.
the DLC.
Yeah, and I know there weren't the best. Like, not a lot
Yeah.
of people just continue because the thing with the DLC is people played the first one, and then not a lot of people kept going. Right?
Yeah, which is also weird because the DLC is like kind of required if they're gonna do like the Wraith stuff with Yuri.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why I think that'll take a back burner in this. They're not gonna.
Yeah, I think that's
stress
gonna
it, I
be
think.
that's gonna be a side quest thing, which that could be cool.
Yeah.
That's excited for. I'm actually really excited for the stuff they're gonna take from Miles, the Miles game, and put it into this game. Firstly, I hope the tricks. I hope I want it to feel like fucking Tony Hawk again. I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite part about Miles. It is hard to go back to the old game.
Yeah,
It's
just
hard to go
because
back
of
to
that.
just because the swinging and the animations in Miles feel so much better.
The little bit I played of it because I went to a friend's place and I played it.
It feels great.
Playing with the low FPS suit, the Spider-Verse suit.
It's so much fun.
That's just it's so
much
satisfying.
fun. Yeah, I love it. And I like so I hope they take some stuff from that, and I also hope they take the friendly neighborhood app stuff. I like and maybe give each character maybe give Miles and Peter. Miles gets Brooklyn and Harlem, and maybe Peter can get Queens and some other borough, and they each have their own individual quests that they do on their own, and it's not co-op and stuff. I think that could be really cool, and just give them their own time to breathe and their own time to do stuff on the side while the main quest is the two of them together, and then obviously side quests with the two of them too. But I like that a lot. And then obviously with swinging and stuff, if you want to have co-op stuff, swinging and co-op, but also if you're single player, you could just call somebody over for a mission or some shit. I don't know. There's a lot of potential and a lot of stuff they could take from the Miles game.
This is going to be a much more ambitious game than the first game. You can already
and I hope
tell.
It is. And I hope it is. Yeah. I want it to feel like legitimately alive. I don't want to have to chase down tokens. I don't want to have to just look at the map to see where to go. I think they need to drop the personally I think they need to drop the objective marker. Playing Ghost of Tsushima, it is the best thing that ever happened to gaming.
That is something I don't think they will do.
I don't think so either.
That would be a ballsy move. That would be a really ballsy move.
So Ghost of Tsushima has the ability to you swipe up on the touchpad and just the wind points you in a direction and you just go that way. And it's an in-universe thing. It's not like a UI thing. It is so great. My issue, maybe this is just me. If there's a mini map, if there's a UI thing to tell me where to go, I just look at that.
If you hear something, you have spider sense.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like the game doesn't really I get the quick time events, but that's different, you know?
Yeah.
Spider sense should be a thing is you're sitting on a rooftop and then the controller vibrates a bit and then you hear someone screaming in the corner.
If they can find a way to make to make the UI replaced with the haptics, which I don't think they could, but if they could do that, that would be killer. That would be a game changer. Because I want to be able to be invested in the world. And I think they got to drop the minimap. I think they got to drop the objective marker and find a new, more organic way to do that. And I think I think they got to drop all the cop stuff. They got to drop the weird surveillance of the weird. The first game has the and granted they did drop that with Miles. It was great with the app. But the first game had we have our high tech surveillance
we're monitoring
crime.
Every single crime.
Yeah, and it's like what the fuck, Spider-Man? Why are you okay?
What
with
is
that?
a 1984 shit?
Literally. But I think they will drop that and they'll just go with the app stuff where it's community based, which I really like that. I think that'd be really fun. But there's
I hope it has something to do with Feast. I want them to make
fun.
Feast a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Especially May's gone and someone else takes over.
Yeah.
What if we see Pete take over Feast?
That could be fun. Pete. He has to keep track of Feast and do bugle stuff and take care of take care of Miles, but train Miles and stuff. That could be really fun. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential with this game, and I think they could go one of two ways with it. They could go they could really go hard with it, which I think they will. I have really high hopes. But I also have a bit of a concern that it's they're gonna lean a little bit more into the
tinker techie shit. Yeah.
Not even just tinker or techie shit, but fan servicey type writing, if that makes sense. you know, like
Oh,
flanderizing a
okay.
little bit. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
I hope they
That
don't
kind of
like.
comes with the symbiote too sometimes, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I hope really what I hope, and I hope this of anything doing a sequel is I hope they don't get cocky, you know. I hope
yeah.
that like, and Insomniac has a great writing team, so it's like there's
Mm,
realistically it's gonna be great, but I
yeah.
just I have these hopes that's like there is so much potential here, and I hope they don't drop that basically, you know.
I mean, these games arguably are kind of as popular as the movies,
No,
you
yeah,
know?
they
Maybe
easily
not,
are.
but maybe just to a certain degree, maybe even more popular, just depending on like how sales work and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But like, because everyone saw the suit design, everyone saw the Insomniac
yeah,
Spider-Man suit
and
design,
that was the whole thing.
and
And guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna say it. White on
there we go.
Spider-Man is the new way to fucking go. Every fucking Spider-Man suit needs to have white on it.
I,
It's great. It is
I,
sexy. I
I
love
could,
it.
I would like a power up on the Tom Holland suit with the white, because I
Yeah,
like the white symbol at the back in the Far From Home suit, and they need to balance things out a bit more.
yeah,
Um, but I think this game is going to be good regardless.
yeah.
It's just
It's gonna be
how they
good.
handled like
Yeah,
small intricate things.
I hope
Yeah.
that it's great. You know, that's really it. Which I think
Mm,
it could be. I
yep.
think it will be.
Mm.
But I think
Um.
is that what would you say? Oh, and then
I
the
mean,
other big
the other games.
reveal.
We
The
got
well
on Spider-Man for so long we
but
forgot the
yeah,
other ones.
but the other big reveal is Wolverine. They announced a
Yeah.
Wolverine game.
That teaser looked fun. Is it going to be
Teaser
the
looks fun.
same? Did they say anything about it being the same as Spider-Man, like a single player,
I would
kind
assume
of
that'd be
game?
my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing this is made by Insomniac, so like I'm interested to see because
Mm.
Insomniac is very movement based with all their games. At least
Yeah.
the games I've played, like Ratchet and Clank have like very strong movement mechanics.
Mm.
Obviously, Spider-Man does.
Yeah.
The
The new
Sunset
one has like
Overdrive.
crazy portal stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm really
And
they
yeah.
use the SSD really well with that. But I'm
Mm.
interested to see how they because I don't want this to be just a clone of Spider-Man in terms of combat and
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
Mm.
but really there's only one fucking thing I want from this game, and you know it.
Yeah.
Is fucking Laura Kinney had better be
What?
playable. Laura Kinney had better be
Yeah.
a main fucking character. Laura is like this is the
I
here you think I have hot takes? Do you want to hear my real hot take? My
what
really
that
hot
she's
take?
better than Logan and
I
everything.
think she is so much better than Logan. She is
Mm.
by far the most interesting
More
character
interesting
to take on the Wolverine mantle. The Tom Taylor
Yeah.
run is one of the best comics ever written. She is
I need to
such a
read it.
likable character. It's like they're not competing and stuff. And I love Logan and I'm excited for this, but I do want
Mm.
Laura to be at least there in a similar way that Miles was. It'd be really cool.
Mm.
And I hope that they don't. I hope they do a Laura game, and I hope they don't call her X-23 because don't call her X-23. That's fucked up.
I think they're gonna give her the mouse treatment, and then the next
Yeah.
game is gonna be called X-23. That's my weird
I would be
theory.
mad. I would be mad.
Yeah,
You can't call her that.
because you're
Can't
not gonna
her
call
that.
a game just Laura, and
Well,
like the only other name
it could be Laura Kinney Wolverine, or it could be all new Wolverine, or something like that.
yeah, or like
or
yeah,
Wolverines would be
yeah.
kind of cool.
If they called it
Plural.
Laura, if they called it Wolverine Laura Kinney, people would meme the shit out of it. But like I think
That
it
would
would be
work.
good
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
But I think it could be really cool. I hope it's M. I feel like
Yeah, I
know
could see them making it M.
because just
Like give
as
it
with
a
games like violence, like granted Wolverine in PG-13 and T could still work. Like it could be fine, but like I don't know. It doesn't really fit. Like if Logan was PG-13, that would not be the same movie.
Yeah.
You know.
I want my thing with that game is I want it to be a lot more narrative focused.
Yeah.
Like not to say it needs to be The Last of Us, but I want them to kind of be
God.
more The
Oh my
Last
god!
of Us.
Imagine if it's. Imagine, oh, I guess the Last of Us with Laura and Logan is just the movie Logan, but
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
But
But that would be.
but
That
like
would be
I
cool.
don't, because how much open world travel can you do with Wolverine? You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I was thinking.
Like you can,
Yeah.
and I think I don't know if it's gonna be open world. I assume there's gonna be a bit of open world to it, but like
You can't really do culturally. I think if you make a non-open world superhero game, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I mean,
yeah.
look at Avengers. People weren't into that. People weren't into Avengers
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons, but like I think the fact that it was like a
yeah.
a
It's not a-
mission-based
it's not
structure
a-
didn't really work out.
You can't sink your time into it the same way.
Although if it's
Yeah.
like a what's the fucking term, a hack and slash, like just like a brawler, that could be fun too.
Yeah.
You know.
That'd be
know.
interesting. You'd have to advertise more than just Wolverine for that. I
Yeah,
feel.
they're also
You know,
gonna
like, you
have to.
do-
They're also gonna have. They have a lot to compete with because ironically the X-Men Origins game is really fucking good. It's really fucking
I've
good.
heard good things about it. So
It's like really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I think it'd be
I just
cool.
want it to be
Really
more
excited.
narrative focused at the
Yeah,
end of the day,
that's
because
fair.
I feel like you can do a nice, rich, deep cinematic story with if Laura's in there with Laura, but with Logan. And I think, yeah, we've seen a good amount of it before, but Insomniac has a good way of taking something and giving it a little bit of a different spin. And so I hope they do that with Wolverine.
Yeah, I think I think actually if it's a similar like structure to like maybe a Metroidvania might work. So something like a Jedi Fallen Order where it's like a linear path, but they it connects back to itself. There's a lot of exploration, and it's not like an
Yeah.
open world. Or something like God of War, which is like
Yeah,
technically
yeah,
it's
yeah.
open world, but
But
like
not
everything's
crazily.
connected.
Yeah.
But it's really still just kind of linear paths and stuff. Something like that would be perfect. Actually, God,
Yep.
Insomniac is going to kill this, but I think the God of War devs would have done a really good job with Wolverine. But they're probably
Yeah.
gonna do they're gonna do a Thor game. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Um,
if not
I
them,
can.
then Sony and Marvel will be like, all right, just copy God of War and do something and make a Thor game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, we didn't talk about God of War too much. I don't have too much to say about God of
I
War
don't have
just
time
because
to
I'm
say.
not the biggest fan. But the trailer looks cool.
Atreus is a big boy now.
Yeah.
He's a big
I didn't
boy.
notice that
Combat
much
looks
of a
fun.
change. He's just taller, I guess.
He's taller
But
and his voice is deeper.
yeah. I like that
Um,
they gave him sleeves. I like that they gave
yeah,
them clothing.
I think it was
Clothing
good.
is more
The game,
customizable.
I fucking love the first game, so I'm excited as hell for that. The
Yeah.
new enemies look cool. Thor looks. I don't think they even showed what Thor looks like, which that's gonna be a
They
fun
just showed the
reveal.
hammer, I think.
Yeah, which they
Yeah.
already showed that in the first game.
I think
Um,
actually no, I think they showed a picture of Thor online on
oh, did
like a
they?
post or
Oh, okay, I
something.
haven't seen
If
that
you go
yet.
find it. But yeah, or maybe it was just the actor and they just put him in that thing. But yeah, no, it looks all these. I didn't. I heard about the PlayStation Showcase. It wasn't advertised heavily. The only reason I knew about it is because Eddie Burback tweeted about it like a week ago. That's it. So I think
Yeah,
PlayStation didn't do a great job advertising it
I didn't
beforehand.
know. Well, that's the
But
thing with all their events is they never do. They always do it like
mm,
24 hours in advance because they don't want people leaking shit. And so it's
yeah,
like if there's like a week of prep time and they also don't want other
yeah,
companies to like to try and announce
yeah,
something to undercut them. It's like
yeah.
imagine they announce Spider-Man 2
Which
and then boom, a second trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home or something, or
yeah,
Avengers
or like a
4.
Suicide Squad trailer or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um
You know what? Because that's
yeah.
what they're going to do with DC fandom. Is DC fandom is going to happen, and I bet you within 2 weeks we'll get the second No Way Home trailer.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly.
so
Yeah. I'm interested in fandom. They got
it's going to be
potential
fun.
to
I'm going to probably
yeah.
go live throughout the whole day if you
Yeah,
want
I
to
think
join me.
I might too.
Yeah.
Um you can join
But
me.
I didn't have anything else to say specific about the games.
I don't think so. Uncharted is getting remastered for PS5 and PC, which that's really cool.
I didn't
That's
hear
very
about
very
that.
cool. I saw a trailer for that. I love the Uncharted
Also,
games, so it's cool. But so yeah,
but yeah,
did you want to move on? I guess long story short, I am a god. I am the smartest person that has ever talked about Spider-Man. I know everything.
yes.
I am a genius. I am the second coming of Christ. And Spider-Man 2
And I hate
looked like it could be cool.
the Spider-Man game because it has the Iron Spider legs and it ruined it for me.
There you
So
go.
be sure to tweet at me about that.
There you go. There you go.
Uh,
But did you want to talk
but
about
yeah.
What If now?
Yeah, I'll go. I guess I won't go on for too long because I don't have really. It's been a while, so I don't have too much to talk
Yeah,
about.
we've cooled
But
down, I think.
for a moment, I want to take you through my journey. It's Tuesday night, right? I'm like, do I want to stay up all the way like until late tonight to watch What If? I
Oh
have
yeah,
class in the morning at 8
weird
a.m.
and you stay up to watch this shit. No, fuck that.
I know. I'm trying not to anymore, but like and it's harder because Wednesday I have an 8 a.m. class. But I figured out that if I just sleep normally and then fuck it up for one day of the week, I'm usually fine. You know? So I stayed up and it was like 12 o'clock and I'm like, I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I went to bed like around 1 a.m. I sat in bed for a bit. I was listening to a podcast and then it was like 1:30 and I'm like, fuck it. It's 1:30. I'm going to stay up. I stayed up around my Disney Plus was slow and my internet was being stupid. Around 12:15 I turned on the episode. Before I turned on the episode, and by the way, spoilers for What If, right? We can say spoilers for What If.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to know our rating, I basically giving it a 5 out of 10. That's my weird rating for it.
Yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10, but yeah.
Yeah. So I wake up, or not I wake up, I was already awake. 12:15. I turn it on. Before I turn it on, I did the mistake of going to Twitter, and I saw one person tweet, "Oh my god, they said Uncle Ben." And I was like, "Oh boy, Twitter's gonna be a fucking field day for the next
Yeah.
few days," you know. And I think the Spider-Man PS4 stuff helped a lot because now everyone's gonna be going crazy for this. But I mean, the past 2 days have been hell. Other than Clout
Yeah.
Mithi, it's just generally been hell about Spider-Man
Yes,
Twitter.
this is very true.
And so I watched the episode. I was like, okay, this is going pretty well. Then the vlog bit happened, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. Then it continued, and the Grand Central Station bit happened, and I was like, okay, maybe this episode is winning me over a bit. I thought I would not like it, but I like some of the teamwork. It feels like an Avengers movie. It feels like a mini Avengers movie, you know? And although Endgame was only 2 years ago, I still kind of miss that feeling, and I like that.
Yeah.
Then the episode went on, and then fucking Paul Rudd started opening his mouth and talking, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the end of the episode happened, and I was left on a bittersweet note. And then they teased it, but then I don't think they're gonna do a sequel until like next year, whenever they do the next season, if they even do a next season. And then the episode ended, and I was like, I don't know why. I'm thinking about this episode a lot, so I instantly just watched it again. I know I should have given myself time to watch it again, but for some reason it was like 3 a.m. and I just decided to watch it again.
It's 3 a.m.
And while
I just got back from watching Marvel's What If, Marvel Zombies, and I feel
wrong.
like watching it again.
Yeah,
I feel like watching it twice in a row.
I feel like I am a part of the cog in the machine. But I don't know. I tweeted a bit about it, and then I was like, "Am I the only one that doesn't?"
That night, I thought you tweeted
that
about
night.
Twit.
No,
okay,
no. I tweeted that night. So while I was watching, I was just tweeting some of my commentary stuff the second time around, right?
Yeah.
And the second time I watched it, I just felt myself getting more frustrated. You know, like I watched the episode and I was like, okay, this is like a 7 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I kept watching it and I was like, oh no, fuck this. This is like a 3 out of 10. And then after tweeting about it a bunch, expecting like one of the tweets to get clout and then just fucking shutting it off and going to bed, I woke up like fucking 3 hours later. I went to class. I didn't look at really anything on Twitter. And then I come back and then Josh Keaton has retweeted my tweet. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Oh no.
And so then during my break between classes, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to watch this episode again to see if I'm really just in Crazy Town. Because I saw so many people. Everyone is on opposite ends of the spectrum. Everyone is hardline disagreeing with each other, you know? So many people are like, oh my god, this version of Spider-Man is horrible. And then they're like, oh my god, this scene is really awesome. And then I kept seeing like almost every single opinion about this show. And I thought to myself, maybe I am in Crazy Town. Because if I'm honest, I didn't really give a fuck about this Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
Like, my problems with the episode, and I give this a 5 out of 10 because there are some things in that episode that really win me over, and there are some things in that episode that really bring things down for me. But it just got me really reflective about the way the show is being made in general. This is a show that is being made to fit 30-minute increments, right?
Yeah. No, yeah.
And with 30 minutes, there's only so much you can do. When I did my shit in 30 minutes, there's not a bunch of stuff I can do. I was able to fit in like 12 scenes and that's it. And they're relatively fast paced, you know? Similar with kind of thing with this show. You can fit in a good amount of scenes, but they've got to be relatively fast paced. And the more scenes you fit into the show, the more fast paced they have to be, right? And when you're watching this show, the pacing is just so fast that you feel it. You know, there's a moment in which pacing is too slow that you feel it, and the benchmark in which pacing is too fast and you feel it. And this show has been the definition of passing that bar like every single time, you know? And I was like, why am I feeling this way for everything? And I think this episode encompasses like all of it, where every time there's some semblance of a serious moment, you always cut back to some joke or just the next plot point, you know?
Yeah.
And not all of it is, the problem isn't, for me, the problem isn't even the jokes most of the time. Because not all the jokes are terrible. Some of them are kind of bad. The Blam thing was fucking stupid and I hated it, right? Yeah. But other than that, some of these jokes are fine. The problem is that they're condensed. And I saw people saying, yeah, but can you blame them? It's not the problem is Marvel wants them to be like that. And there's nothing they can do about that. So they just have to fit all of this stuff into this small frame. And then I'm like, I get that. But my problem is not just with the creators or the writers. My problem is with what Marvel is asking them to do. You know, Marvel is asking them to take Marvel Zombies, which is a crazy storyline, and condense it into an episode. And no, you don't have to take every plot point, but you're going to take a story about the entire MCU turning into zombies and condense it in this space. I love Infinity War. The pacing of that movie is pretty fast for a 2.5 hour movie, and people still.
I think Infinity War is the best paced of all the MCU.
I think it is
just for what it has to
but
do.
There are people who still.
Paced.
But people complain about it. You know, people are like, "No, it's too fast paced for me." And this is like 5 times more than that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think therein lies the problem with almost every episode of the show, except for the Doctor Strange episode and parts, I will say, of the Star-Lord episode.
Yeah.
Of like, this show wants to do, like, even the Captain Carter one. It's like that. It's just going back to back to back to back to back with every single plot point with no room for something. There's a scene in this episode where Sharon Carter is looking out of the train, right, and kind of remembering Happy and remembering everything. The scene takes place over 1.5 seconds. I think it was 1.5 seconds or maybe 2 seconds, you know? And then instantly it's like, oh, what's the sound? Oh my God, zombie Captain America is here. And it's like in something that's maybe not better written, but maybe just better planned out from an executive level to an editing level. That scene would have taken place over 5 minutes. Yeah. Or not 5 minutes, 5 seconds, you know, or 10 seconds of her sitting there, kind of looking there, maybe sitting down, looking up, or you would have having more of a character moment there. But the show doesn't get the luxury of that because they keep saying Marvel Zombies, Captain Carter, fucking all the Avengers died. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's so many ambitious concepts.
And it's weird to me because, like, with this time restraint that they have, who is restraining them?
I don't know.
They're not being. It's not on TV. This show is it shows exclusive to a streaming service. There's no advertisements.
It's just they can't.
There's no limitations. It's obviously you don't want to go like way above 30. But Marvel Zombies, I think, is deserving of like a 45-minute episode or like a 2-parter. You know,
this show should have been 6 episodes.
No, I totally agree with that.
They're forcing all the other shows to be. They're forcing this show to be 9 episodes. And like, or they're forcing other shows to be 6 episodes. Like Loki should have been longer, but it's not. Or Falcon and the Winter Soldier was actually, that was pretty good, but people did want it to be longer, and it's not. And they're pushing Hawkeye to be 6 episodes too. Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that. I want more Kate Bishop action. Yeah. But then this gets to be 9 episodes, and I'm like, no, let the animators chill and focus on a couple of things. Do 6 episodes, make each episode like 10 minutes longer, 20 minutes longer. You know. And so Marvel Zombies can be something that is 40 minutes, 50 minutes long. I feel like they're forcing it into a corner, and I don't want the animators to overwork because, am I saying the word animators right? Yes, I am. It's just that I've said it so many times. But I don't. It's like the thing they talk about in Ted Lasso, where you say a word too many times. And
yes.
Yeah. But I want this. This show has seedlings of good concepts, and I know everyone on Twitter is frustrated about Spider-Man. I don't care about that.
The Spider-Man stuff is the least interesting stuff to me in this. Like, it's like cool. Spider-Man was in this. They mentioned Uncle Ben. Cool. Like, that's not
he's characterized wrong. It's like, yeah, I guess, but it is a fun moment. I don't like the whole jokey joke thing, but it's just that we have such a profound respect for Spider-Man that we have this thing about him. You know, you can say the same thing for Scott Lang. You can say Scott Lang is joking way too much. No, and he should cool it down with the jokes. Because he is.
Scott Lang has been disrespected as fuck in these in so many of these movies. Like, he's just been.
And Paul Rudd is a legend who deserves more.
Paul Rudd is such a legend. He absolutely deserves more. No, I totally agree. Yeah,
and I hope Ant-Man does it, but Quantum Media or whatever does that.
Let's be real. I know. It won't.
You could even say that. Oh, this, if you love, I'm gonna say 2 words that's gonna make you shiver. You could say they character assassinated Vision in this fucking thing. You could say that if you really wanted to go down that hill, you could say they character assassinated Vision more than they character assassinated Spider-Man. Yeah. But the problem is not the character assassination. The problem is how they're getting to the character assassination. And they're doing it because you just don't have time. I want to say, oh, the Spider-Man isn't characterized right, or I don't like some of the aspects of the characterization, but I can't because it's such a fast-paced environment that I can't judge this version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
because it's too. I don't get to sit with him as much.
The thing I said last podcast about how this feels like made for TV specials versions of the characters.
Yeah.
This is it's so like
This.
this
Yeah.
is the perfect example of that. This is the perfect depiction
Yeah.
of it. And the way I see What If, I think you're absolutely right. I think the 30-minute thing is a limitation on it, but also they didn't have to write this grandiose of a plot for Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies this episode, you could easily tell a one-shot 30-minute story within the universe of Marvel Zombies that would be fully fleshed out within 30 minutes. I mean, there are Spectacular Spider-Man episodes that are less than this, 22 minutes long, and you can get
pace better. Yeah.
Better pace, better character moments, better humor, all that stuff.
It's because I watched the Sinister Six episode again, or you know what's a good example of that? The fucking Black Suit episode.
Banger episode.
That's probably my favorite, if not the Curtain Call, or maybe even the
Curtain Call is my favorite episode. I fucking love that episode. Love that episode.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I think with even those episodes, or like especially the Black Suit one, there's Chameleon, there's the him slandering his name, there is Black Cat stuff, and there's the symbiote, and they're doing all. I think you mentioned it in the commentary. They're doing so much shit in 20 minutes, and the strength is not in cramming too many things and fitting it in a time. It's about how you weave those plot lines on top of each other.
And
and they're not doing that. They're just making it all linear.
I got my own equal amount of shit on Twitter, and not nearly as much because like for some reason the tweet didn't get clout, even though it should have. But I compared
Josh
this.
Didn't see your thing.
They did not see my thing. I compared the Marvel Zombies episode of What If to Deceased, to the Tom Taylor comic, and a lot of people because the Deceased comic is so much better. It does absolutely everything that this What If episode does. I think this What If episode took a lot from Deceased. Actually, like it really did.
Maybe.
In terms of like a fan favorite character getting an object of power that makes them cool, gives them extra abilities and stuff.
And they're also funny in Deceased, right? Like the Super Sons and
Deceased actually. So there's a lot of similarities with Deceased and this Marvel Zombies episode. The endings are very similar. The use of like quote unquote Spider-Man's not a B-level character, but like he within the MCU realm, he's a B-level. He's not an Avenger. Like the killing off of your A-list characters like quickly, so it's like kind of lower tier characters for a while, for most of it. It's very similar to Deceased. The only thing is Deceased is a fucking short comic. Deceased is only 6 issues. That is the that is honestly the equivalent of a 30-minute episode, maybe 45 minutes. They're very short.
I want to say a movie at max. If it depends on what.
Even then, I don't think it's a movie. There's really not a ton happens in Deceased because it's a lot of character moments. It's a lot of very personal, slow moments where it knows when to take a second and take a break and treat itself seriously. And it feels like this episode never knew that because you said, it's always trying to rush to that. But like, and I heard so many people were like, you can't compare the two of them. Deceased is short. This easily could have been like, they're very comparable, I think. And even then, this episode didn't have to go. And also, the ending of Deceased, I think, it goes a little bit further than what the ending of this episode does. I believe, like, if you were to compare the plot points, I think this would probably go to like issue 4 of Deceased.
Yeah.
You know
what I wanted them to do with this episode, because I feel going back to the whole Infinity War thing of pacing and overlaying plots on top of each other. Infinity War is not the same pacing as this, but you can say it's comparative pacing, right? It's fast paced, but the strength with Infinity War is you have 3 different environments. You have Iron Man doing his own shit. You have Thor doing his own shit. You sometimes have the Guardians doing their own shit, and then you have stuff on Earth, right? Yeah. And you're interweaving those back and forth, so you never get tired of one group. The problem with this is they're taking one full plot line of these characters together and smushing it. Right? If they had done something where they separate the characters a little bit more, and I know it's a zombie movie, you don't want to separate the characters, but still, if you had separated the characters a bit more,
they could have easily not have all started as one resistance group, and they could have been 3 resistance groups that all go up to the Vision headquarters, and boom, that's where they meet, that's where shit goes down, and then they go off to the
other than the jokes, I feel like other than the jokes, there's a very easy way to save the last half or like last third of this episode with editing, because I
Yeah.
was going through it my third time watching it. I was like, "There's a Scott Lang joke I can cook. There's a Scott Lang joke I can."
You watched this episode 3
I watched
times.
it 3. I know.
What the fuck? I watched episode once and I was like, cool. I got everything I wanted out of that.
I'm a degenerate, and I think the thing is because I also watched it while I was doing homework, so it doesn't. It's like half watching it, you know. It's like it doesn't. I'm a degenerate, okay. But
like
I
know, but I feel like
edit out the good thing
with the time. Yeah, with the time stuff. Like they did not need to add all these jokes. Those jokes fill up time. They did not need to add,
and
they did not need to add the
why
vlogging
they want
scene
to.
with Peter.
Why do they want to?
And it's a Marvel thing. It's got to be a branding thing at this point. I mean, Alex said it in his Shang-Chi video, which is like he's getting shit on for it, but he's right. Yeah. They are constantly.
The Marvel problem is a definition of the problem with this thing.
They are constantly trying to undercut emotion and make jokes. And the reason I think this show, more than any of the other Disney Plus shows, this show is a show for Marvel fans and kind of Marvel fans alone, which like the premise obviously makes sense in that degree, you know, like it's what if this thing in the universe was different, but like at the very least it feels like it's like okay, so all the stands on Twitter are like filling in the dots or filling in the blanks with a lot of character moments, you know. And I almost feel like that's because that's what you're supposed to do, you know. You're supposed to be like, oh, Peter is like this normally, so he would actually feel this in this moment, which we didn't see on screen, but it's because we know him so well. But like, if you're not into it,
feels like this is the textbok. It feels like this is the Marvel Encyclopedia textbook, and then you have to like go back and reference other materials to understand it. And
like, it's just very weird to me that they would spend all this time on the jokes when like there is very easy and like expected things to do. Like it's so weird. This episode is so strange because it's like all the pieces are there for a very interesting, again, very derivative of Deceased. Granted, I haven't read Marvel Zombies. I don't know how much is similar of it. But in terms of the plot line and in terms of the similarities, it is very similar. I know
Marvel Zombies is more fucked up, but this episode it's a lot more, since everyone is all in one corner. You can't do the whole split up kind of thing.
Also, can I say just really quickly, Mark Ruffalo's a terrible fucking voice actor. The fact that, like, I understand why this show this show is like, and the same reason why I think this is a show for Marvel fans, and only Marvel fans.
You just want to hear Mark Ruffalo's voice and be like, "Oh my god, he's the Hulk again."
They see it as a point of pride of like, we got the actors back. We got Benedict Cumberbatch. We got Mark Ruffalo. We got all the same actors that are movie actors, and they're just voicing the characters.
That feels like it's demeaning to actual voice actors.
It feels like it's demeaning to actual voice actors, and the fact that like obviously, I mean, the guy that they got for Spider-Man actually did a pretty good job there, and I was very impressed.
He did great.
He sounded like Tom, awesome. But he did a good job. But it's like so many of these of the other, I don't want to say real actors, because I mean, voice actors are real actors. So many of the film actors, it feels like they were taking it less seriously. Mark Ruffalo didn't really seem to be putting his all into the performance.
Maybe it's kind of Sebastian Stan a bit.
Even Sebastian Stan a little bit, and also because Bucky was written kind of terribly in this. And same with it's the same with what I was talking about with like the writing is not nearly as deep for these characters as it is in the movies, and so therefore they're made for TV versions of the characters. And so then when the actors read the scripts, they're like, "Oh, okay, this isn't as deep, so I don't need to take it as seriously." And it's like it's frustrating. Like fucking like even I mean I'm gonna be real. Bruce Banner in the movies is pretty fucking annoying. I am not a huge fan of Mark Ruffalo. He
gets more annoying as the movies go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it feels even like they were leaning into that stuff a lot, and they feels like they were flanderizing him and getting rid of like his duality. Like they even like I mean they have the whole thing with Hulk not wanting to come out. There wasn't really anything to that. When
I eventually do my Endgame video, probably next year, because I want to give it a year between the Infinity War video and the Endgame video, I have a whole like 5-minute shebang about how the Hulk is the worst part of both movies.
Yes.
I don't like anything they do with the Hulk with both of those movies, because it just it feels like half of it was left on the cutting room floor, and then even when they show you what was left on the cutting room floor, it doesn't exactly make sense. And I feel like with this, because here's the thing, I did enjoy this episode. There's a reason I give it a 5 out of 10 and not a 3 out of 10. And I originally gave it a 4, and I bumped it up because I do enjoy the concept Peter, of
Yeah.
Spider-Man, the Wasp, the Hulk, Bucky, Okoye, all these characters that you really like
Yeah.
becoming this new Avengers team
That is cool.
is cool. I
Yeah.
like it. I really like, and
And
what I want
like, as much as even the like the Uncle Ben thing was like kind of forced, it felt.
it
But
did.
it is.
I didn't care about it.
I didn't care too much about it either. Like, it was cool. It's weird that it's the only time, but like, whatever. Like, I feel like gonna be real. I think we are past the point of it just being an offhand reference for the first time.
Yeah.
I think the movies have to actually do something serious with it because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But like the thing with Hope and Peter talking about Hope, I thought that was kind of nice. That was cool. But like the thing that, okay, really quick, it also bothered me a lot this episode that like they didn't really seem to care that they were like killing people.
I saw people tweeting about that.
Not only that they were killing their friends, which that was especially weird, but it was like they talk about there's a chance for a cure, everybody. We could get a cure.
Yeah, and then they keep killing people.
And then they kept stepping on the zombies and cutting them in half and slicing heads off. And it's like, what the fuck? And you don't care?
Yeah.
Like, at least Deceased had the gall to say at the beginning, and I don't want to spoil Deceased and stuff, but the reason that everybody is like super okay with murdering the zombies, even like fucking Batman is, because at the beginning of Deceased, they say there is no cure. This is incurable. So everybody's like, fuck, there is no other option. But even then, there is still like an emotional weight. Superman feels bad whenever he has to kill a zombie because he's like, that was a person. And I feel like it's just weird to me that there was never once that conversation.
I think there should have been a moment where they were like, we're not looking for a cure. We're looking to travel into the past. There should have been a moment where they said something like that, and I would have been more okay with it.
And that would actually be really interesting. Like, because it's the same thing as Endgame.
And then you pace the movie like Endgame.
Also, I will say, Thanos becoming zombie. They did that in Deceased too with Darkseid. Just saying.
Really?
Yep. Literally so much of, and granted, again, I haven't read Marvel Zombies, so I don't know, but it is very similar to Deceased.
Tom Taylor is crying right now.
Very similar to Deceased.
He is you with the Spider-Man game.
Honestly.
Like, these guys everything.
But then he's like, oh, but I work for them, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think with this whole episode too, because I mean, I'll be honest, eventually down the line in the next 5 to 10 years, I do kind of want like a Bucky, Sam, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, I want a movie with them. Maybe not Shang-Chi. Yeah,
he's too good. He's too good for them.
Keep him safe.
No, I agree.
Keep him, at least put him in later, like after you give him away.
Keep him away from the fuckers. Keep him in at most the only person. The most I want.
That's what they're gonna name the team.
Honestly, please. I just want him to like the most I want is like Doctor Strange level type thing where it's like, okay, he's in the big things, but he's not like an official Avenger. I'm cool with that. You know.
And I mean, because I want a movie that's like, I want it to be called The Next Avengers. They could do Young Avengers, and then I want them do a movie called The Next Avengers, and it's like 5 to 6 of the new characters, some of them bigger than others, just teaming up and doing some cool shit together. Maybe I originally was like, maybe they fight Kang, and it's like, no, keep Kang as a big thing, but do like a cool movie where they're fighting like the Masters of Evil or something like that, you know. And I want that, and this felt like a little subtle feeling of that, an essence of that. And for the most part, like the moment where, like, I keep calling him Tom and not Peter, but when Spider-Man walks in and he's wearing the cane, he's like, "You think it fits me?" He's like, "You'll grow into it." That's a nice little moment. I want stuff like that. But then also that moment happens, they smile at each other for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Before they keep talking about something else. And that's the big problem.
Short. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. It's not enough time to digest it, and I feel like no one really is digesting it. Those are Sharon looking for one. It's so weird for me to say my favorite parts of this show last for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's that intricate. That joke is my favorite part.
Yeah. And it's like
the Sharon Carter bit
it's
my
really
favorite
weird
part.
to me because it's like you would expect like more Marvel fans to be really kind of like on them about this type of thing. And granted, the Marvel stands are never going to criticize Marvel for anything, so that's expected.
No,
but like, is Marvel's like main selling point not that their characters are human and relatable? Is that not the thing that they constantly
and their
say
selling point
over
since
DC?
like the 90s?
Yeah,
right?
not even the 90s, since fucking since Fantastic Four, since the 50s. because they were it was the 60s, because they were like, oh, all the Superman and everybody, they're just gods, and they're not human and they're not relatable, so here's the Fantastic Four,
We
here's
make
Spider-Man.
people who live among us. Ha, ha, ha.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
No, you're not sorry, but
I keep doing shit like this to interrupt you, like in the middle of a serious
God
moment.
forbid.
But
like is that like that is the main like selling point of Marvel, and I think that's been why the movies have been so successful. And so when they turn around and for fan service just forget that they're human is very weird to me. You know, somebody's gonna clip this and do a response video. I don't give a fuck.
That's why.
But it's just very strange.
I liked Ultimate Spider-Man, and I don't know. I feel like this whole thing is going in a direction of like, because they're probably gonna all team up and do a multiverse thing later. And I don't want that. I get it, and it's gonna be fun, and this show is like Avengers Assemble, the Disney XD cartoon. And it's gonna end up being like that. And I don't want it to be like that. I want it because the concept of what if is Doctor Strange proved how the concept of what if can be something else.
Yeah.
And I feel like the show is doing it in pieces and then actively going against that grain.
It's very strange. Yeah, the Doctor Strange episode was really good. I even really liked the one before that, episode 3.
Yeah, the Evil Hank Pym. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a very what if is a very powerful idea that like Marvel even in general has never really like fully used to fullest potential, you know?
Not to like this degree. Even they're doing it more in this than they did with the comics, right? Because it's like Flash Thompson, what if?
Yeah, the comics have usually been one shots and stuff. Which is it's ironic that it's the same limitation as the show, where it's like there's not that much time.
Which DC has done more what if, right?
Well, DC just does Elseworlds and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, Marvel's doing like series what ifs now, which is really cool. Like with Spider Shadow. I really like that. I think that's the coolest fucking thing. Just mini series what ifs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. It just feels like they have this very powerful branding. They have the word, the term what if.
Yeah.
They own that. They've got the cultural zeitgeist. Even if they don't legally own it, they have a cultural ownership of in the zeitgeist of it. The fact that
the most common words,
NBC has a show coming out where like it's showing like 3 different lifetimes of this one person. And like how how his life is different. The commercials really have emphasized the phrase "what if" to the point where you think it's called "what if." It's called Ordinary Joe because they couldn't call it "what if" because Marvel's "what if" was coming out.
Which it's like good on that Daniel Radcliffe movie for naming it before. Even then, they called it like the F word in other places, which is great. That movie's great.
No, it is good. Yeah. Good soup. But like. It's just very strange. It's like they have so much potential with that, and it's like sometimes they're really capitalizing on it, and sometimes they're really not. And I wonder if that might be a limitation on the MCU. It like maybe just as a comic fan going into this, it's the same thing with like with Disney's the Avengers Campus, where it's like. Yeah. I am not interested in Marvel's MCU Avengers because it's like, what the fuck can you do with that?
No, show me like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
The fact that there's I mean, maybe that would be season 2, but like, I would be same. I don't know. I just
the thing I think Marvel. It's not that Marvel doesn't understand.
Yeah,
Marvel has the top dog marketing people and all those people, so they understand the audience. But then the thing they understand about the audience that we don't exactly address is that. It's for normal people, you know?
Exactly.
And it's like, and it's the thing of, you know, the MCU playground is like, oh, you know those Avengers movies? They did like the Avengers movies, but in real life. Oh, okay, let's go check that out when we go to Florida for the next time this year because we're rich as fuck and we're going every single year.
Exactly. I think it would have been far more interesting from my perspective. No,
it would have.
Comic
and I
Spider-Man,
feel like
comic X-Men, comic Captain America, and you could still use some of the designs. They could very well.
I'm kind of glad DC isn't going in that direction. Not to always compare Marvel and DC, but DC isn't exactly going that direction just because they really don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they're just throwing out something like the Batman, and then they're throwing out a Black Adam movie for God's sake, and they're throwing out a bunch of other. The Black Adam movie is going to make a lot of money. I know that.
The Rock, The Rock is going to sell. Yeah,
it's Rock and it's DC. Yeah, and I think like that's the kind of thing of like Marvel can't do anymore. Yeah. God.
So
You
okay,
gonna
I
bring
made
him
this
up?
tweet a long time ago, like not a long time ago, like a month ago, about
Yeah.
the intro, the MCU logo, about
Yeah.
how I don't like it compared to the old one.
Mm,
The old Marvel logo was
yeah.
just the comics flipping,
Mm,
namely because I think that old logo is just so iconic and it's so traditional and so cool and so classic, but also
yep.
because like it feels like Marvel lately has been so obsessed with their universe that they're
Mm,
kind of forgetting that they're adapting comics. They're
yeah.
so obsessed with what is our universe based on. Oh, we have the Battle of New York. How can we make everything rely on the Battle of New York? How can we
Battle.
make everything
Mm,
rely on Age of Ultron and other movies so that other movies lead into like the fucking X-Men? I can guarantee are going to be a result of some other movie. And that
yeah. Yep. No.
it's you have to watch it for the TV show. And things
Yeah.
can't just exist in the universe.
Yeah.
The multiverse had to be created in Loki.
Mm,
The
yeah. Before they could even
multiverse.
mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, you that's like saying gravity had to be invented.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's
they're going,
so
and
and they're
I
playing so hard
understand
for the
why,
normies.
but
They're
I
playing
don't.
so hard for the casual audience that it's
Yeah.
almost feeling like kind of patronizing to a degree,
Mm,
where it's like,
yeah.
you think I don't know what the fucking multiverse is? And
Mm,
like, granted, not everybody, I guess not everybody does, but it's a basic idea. It's a
yeah.
simple
Which
idea.
is why I wonder if we have to wait till like really late phase 4 to be able to get more of that. But then even then,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, WandaVision is going there, and it's not.
and then, yeah,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is kind of going there, and it's not exactly going
it
there.
feels
It
like
does it
Marvel's
for the
very
most part. I like it.
stagnated within their own universe, and like the street
Yeah.
level stuff, they have a ton of potential there. They have a ton of potential
Hmm.
with street level stuff with Falcon and Winter Soldier and with like Defender stuff if they
Because I mean,
continue that.
that's what the Netflix shows were, right?
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
they were tied to
great.
the MCU, but yeah.
Barely. And that's what I think everything else needs to be. Everything else needs to be barely tied to the MCU. That's why Shang-Chi was so
And I
good.
think,
You
and
know?
that's why I think, I not that it's all Kevin Feige's fault, because he is just a producer and he is
Yeah.
someone who is doing a lot of work. But I want to be Kevin Feige someday, right? You know, fucking everyone wants to be Kevin
Yeah.
Feige someday.
I
But I
want to be
think
in the
with
X-Men
that,
comics, yeah.
yeah, fuck you. But I want to I think at some point you kind of just have to go, all right, here's your Ari Alexa, here's a couple continuity notes, here's a guy to watch you to make sure you're not fucking anything up,
Yeah.
and just go do something. You know? Like that's to some degree I want Marvel to just try something like that, because that's what they did with the Netflix shows. And not that Agents of Shield is perfect, but people like Agents of Shield, and a good amount of it was kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, you will have successes and you will have pitfalls when it's approached like that, but Marvel can very very easily
Yeah.
afford that, you
Yeah.
know, to get like to make 5 things and 3 of them are kind of pieces of shit, and then 2 of them are really diamonds in the rough that people don't forget. People are still campaigning Save Daredevil even though it's
Yeah.
been what, like 2-3 years
Yeah.
now. It's you need to be able to just have, if you're not going to instantly diversify your content, at least be ready to diversify your content.
Yeah, exactly.
Because not that we are better than Kevin Feige, but even us as YouTubers, that's what we fucking do. If something isn't working, or we see like something negative, or we're not enjoying the way that we do something, we do change up our style a little bit, you know, or we change it up to kind of either fit a new audience, or just make ourselves feel more passionate about what we're doing. And I feel like Marvel is at such a fucking massive scale beyond that. But in a way, they have to go through the same thing of like, I want by the end of Phase 4 to be able to say Marvel feels different now, you know,
Yeah,
or like something feels different now.
Yeah, to wrap it up quickly, because I do want to get to questions and not make it super long as like last time.
Yeah.
But to wrap it up, I think the fact that Marvel is still kind of doing their same thing that they've been doing for so long. Granted, it's successful, so I understand it from their perspective. But like in a post Endgame world, I feel like they should have kind of reinvented themselves to a degree of just going back to making regular comic book movies. Regular movies that stand on their own, and then later on bringing them back together into another Endgame event. But we're still in a pretty linear timeline. We're still everything's still setting up something else, and I feel like it's weird that, and I think they're still going to be successful. That's the thing. That's the thing that's annoying about it. That they've built up this brand.
Because we say this like it's gonna make something different.
No,
something
they're
like
not
that.
gonna. They're not gonna have any. They're not gonna get a reality check of a video of a movie failing or something. Like Black
Yeah.
Widow was their biggest failure, I think is fair to say, just because of pandemic
Mm,
stuff. But even then,
that didn't do anything.
it was
Yeah.
still it was still the most successful movie in the pandemic up until Shang-Chi. Like it was
Mm,
still very successful. So
yeah.
like I don't know. I would hope that they can see that, like, granted, the stands are always going to be stands. The casual fans are always going to be casual fans. I just hope that, like, there can at least be some creators on there, like Sam Raimi,
Mm,
who can be like, hey, maybe let's try something else. Maybe let's try something a little bit more unique and different. So we'll have to see with Doctor
yeah.
Strange and stuff. I am a little
I
bit
think
concerned.
Doctor Strange will be a test.
I
I'm
am a
concerned
little
too.
bit concerned after this what if.
Yeah.
If they were
Yeah.
so afraid to do something scary, I really
Yeah.
hope that they could do Doctor
Which,
Strange,
you
which
know
is a
what?
horror
I
movie.
didn't tweet about this, and I might tweet about this just as funny,
Do it.
not for clout, but just because
Do
it was kind of
Clout
funny.
tweet.
The
Yeah.
scene where Wanda bursts in and she's like in the background, for some reason, it just gave me Annihilation vibes. You know
Yeah, I can see
the
that.
Natalie Portman
Yeah.
Annihilation movie?
Yeah, I can see that.
I fell in love in that one scene. I'm like I said, 2 second increments of love. That's what I need to make a video on what if and call it what if 2 second increments of love or something like that, because that scene happened. I'm like, holy shit, that's like a horror annihilation thing. That's uncomfortable. And then fucking the dude makes a dumb joke and gets sucked into a vortex or whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I don't know, that just reminded me of it, and I want them to take more risks that take longer than 2 seconds, but it's Marvel.
Yeah, I think really realistically DC needs to like be a proper competition for them.
Yeah,
For them to
DC
like
needs to buy Marvel.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Yep, big conglomerate.
Yeah, but did you want to move on to just a couple questions from? I guess
Yeah,
I didn't make a new Twitter thread.
I
It's the same one.
Yeah, I still have the old one pulled up, and I can
Okay.
send you it. Why don't
No,
you
I got it.
pick a
I've got it
couple?
open right now.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
This
Um,
this one comes from Tyler Goodrich, the person we were talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
In
let's
these
answer
past
this.
2 hours. Tyler Goodrich, coolest guy around. Gotta love him. He wants to know what drew each of you to want to start making content on YouTube, and any tips for success. So what drew you to making YouTube, homie?
What drew me to YouTube?
Yeah.
Can I suck your meaty schlong for a quick second and say you?
I swear to God, that's
I mean,
nasty.
yeah, that's
Disgusting.
going in the podcast.
Disgusting.
But I mean, you were a part of it, I guess, because I was watching your videos a bunch. But a good amount was High Top, a good amount was you, a good amount was Brown Table, and just I think I used to think you, High Top, Brown Table, and Bailey were like the 4 people that I just watched.
That
like
is
a bunch.
hilarious to me.
For-
That is a
that-
hilariously high bar.
That's fun. That's funny, and I got 2 of you guys to follow me back, so 2 more to go. But I think other than that, I mean, when I was in high school, I did a short film that will never see the light of day until I reach like 1K subs or 5K
Let's
subs
do
or
it.
some
Get
shit.
him to 1K. Get him to 1K.
I'm close. I'm only like 200 away. But I ever since I did that short film project, it was kind of a flop, and ever since I'm like, but I enjoyed myself doing this. I worked hard and I didn't go to sleep for about like 36 hours, but I really enjoyed doing this. Literally like I didn't tell my parents. I stayed up all night with my MacBook and I edited this shitty thing together in iMovie. And ever since that moment, I was like, I see myself doing something like this. And for a year, I shut it off because of college. And then after I took a semester break from college, I'm like, no, this is something that I can do. And with the help of Scribe, we started doing podcast shit, and I was like, maybe video essays and stuff like that. But that's the real thing that drew me to YouTube. Is it can start from inspiration from people, but there has to be something in you when you watch a video or something to be like, I have a thought to put out there. And because anyone can do YouTube, but then the most satisfying way to do YouTube is when you have an inner passion for some form of content creation.
No, yeah, I totally agree. I'd say like the thing that drew me to do it was like, well, it's actually it's funny because my friend was the one who started doing videos first. My friend Austin, the previous co-host on this, he was just doing like sitting in front of cameras, like talking about things, talking about comics, talking about movies and stuff, and like I was like, oh, I kind of want to do something similar. I've always wanted to. I was in theater and stuff, and I always want to be a writer and stuff. And I always wanted to write for comics, but it wasn't like until like the summer of between my freshman and sophomore year of college, when I saw Homecoming, because I originally planned on doing what I do for the reviews now, where with like before the movie and after the movie type thing.
Yeah.
Granted, what I was going to do was going to be much more cinematic. I was going to film myself walking, because I walked everywhere at the time because I didn't have a driver's license. I filmed myself walking and talking about what I wanted from Homecoming.
I kind of wanted to do that for What If today.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to do the same thing,
fun.
but yeah.
But like, and I edited that all together, and then Premiere crashed, and I lost all of it, and I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm done with this. And it wasn't until like I was part of his, I just talked with him, and then we started talking, and we were like, oh man, it'd be cool if this happened, and then I was like, oh, nobody really does rewrites, except for like a couple people, but even then they're like very like limited things, they're not consistent, and so I decided to just do that, and I guess it stemmed from like, oh, my motivation was nobody was making this, so I decided to make it. And I think that is really the best motivation to have if you want to be successful, is like make what you want to see. Like if like you can't just there's a million other people sitting in front of a camera reviewing movies now. The niche has been so oversaturated, so you have to bring something either really fresh to it, with like a really fresh take, like a really fresh background, or like not physical background, but like personal background, or experiences and stuff, or a new angle on it, you know? Like if you're going to review movies, do something unique to yourself in a way that nobody else could, and also in a way that you would want to watch. If other people weren't making your videos, if other people were making the videos, would you watch it? And if the answer is yes, then that's a good video, you know?
That's literally, I don't have any crazy tips for success because, I mean, look at my ass. But the one thing I did is High Top did a broadcast on his channel back in like late 2018. It was like sometime in November. And the chat was moving kind of fast, but I just messaged it and it was like, hey, High Top, love your vids. Do you ever think you would ever do a video on the 2004 Batman show? And he responded to it real quick saying, yeah, that and like the other anime shows are kind of cool. And I don't know if I would, but maybe. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. I want to see a video from you. And every time in the back of my head, I see a High Top video. I'm like, imagine if you did a video on that show, man. That would be so fucking cool. And then, not to say that that's the most successful video in the world, but it got views. And I think there's not a lot of videos on that show, but mine got views. And I never expected it to. And I feel like that's the kind of thing you want to do with YouTube if you're going in this route, is to make something personal. Make something... That's what people like to see too, and I mean that's what I like to see, at least.
Make something
is people
genuine.
Being personal with the content they create.
People are attracted to, and it's ironic because it's also why people like shit on Alex so much. But it's like his videos are very genuinely him, and I think that's why he's successful. My videos are my like, just make shit that is you, and follow yourself. Don't be ashamed of who you are, and don't be ashamed of what you want to say and your opinions and shit. And like that's you, like, and just also fuck algorithms and fuck statistics and shit. Like all that stuff, like about posting consistently. Like obviously posting consistently is probably the most important thing. Like if I was to actually give advice on how to be successful, it would be to post weekly, post consistent quality content. But like at the same time, it's like, make what you want to make and don't kill yourself making it. Because people can tell when you're having fun making a video, and they can tell when you love a video, and they can tell when your heart's not in it, you know. And like
health above everything, and make videos that make you feel healthier. I think too. That's a good way to put that as well.
I think.
Which on Tyler's note, you're doing a fucking great job, man.
Tyler's great.
I'm watching like every single one of your videos, so I love you.
Tyler's the greatest. I accidentally closed out of Twitter, so I gotta find the thing. There it is.
I still have questions. I have another question, I think, and then I lost it. Where the fuck was it? Oh, I thought it was just funny because at Murdoch HQ asked, "What do you want to see most in Spider-Man PS5?"
Let me just say. No, I think.
Imagine if we got Venom in the game.
Dude, that'd be so cool. I do actually. I don't know. In terms of other things I want to see, I think, I don't know, be different, be cool. I want them to. I want Lady Mysterio. Lady Mysterio, please.
Lady Mysterio would be nice. Yeah. It's the same person as the actual like costumer.
That'd be really funny. That'd be really fucking funny.
Yeah.
She's mad
You
at
remember
Spider-Man
me, Spider-Man?
she's mad at Spider-Man for wrecking her costume, and that's her
Yeah.
motivation. That's pretty on
Yep.
par with Mysterio, actually.
I do want funny shit in the game. I get that it's gonna be Venom seriousness, but I want the side quests to
No,
be
I
funny.
want funny that's not like just quippy.
I don't want Screwball
meme
funny. I don't
yeah,
want
exactly.
Screwball funny.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't like Screwball.
Nobody likes Screwball.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh,
Favorite?
I guess one other question, unless you want to end it. I was gonna. Someone asked a favorite issue of Spider-Man. Is that what you?
I was just gonna say that one too. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Okay.
Lego Hoppy Mickfa Boy. I think I've talked about this before, but I think I've definitely talked about this before in a commentary track, and I think I talked about it in the Spectacular video. But
I only talked about Master Planner once. I don't remember.
Yeah, Spider Master Plan. It was this one shot. It was kind of like a sequel to the Spidey book, and like it there's nothing like overly like impressive about it. Like it's fine. Like it's a good comic. It's a well written comic, and the art's really nice. But there's nothing like really groundbreaking about it. I guess actually. So that one's like the personal one, and I'll talk about that one. But the other one that I think is just genuinely the best is the Spider-Bite one from Tom Taylor's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's just a perfect issue. It's perfectly that's a perfect one. Beautiful, fucking adore that. But in terms of like personal stuff, the Spider-Man Master Plan was like it came out at a time where I was like Homecoming came out, and I didn't like Homecoming very much. And granted, I've grown to like it more, but even then, like the Spider-Man aspect of Homecoming, I didn't like, and the current Spider-Man run with Dan Slott, I was like, I don't really like what's going on here. The games weren't very good. The show, I wasn't into Ultimate, and like all these things, I was just like, fuck, do I even like Spider-Man? Am I really like? Do I actually like Spider-Man, or am I just like nostalgic for Spectacular? Was Spectacular a fluke? Is that not actually what Spider-Man content is like? And then Master Plan came out, and I was like, oh no. Just kidding. I like this. I like this a lot. This is great. It's not amazing, but it's cool. And it was actually kind of trying to utilize Homecoming a little bit to a degree. But like he built all his tech, and he had tech, but he built it himself, and like he felt very independent, and I really liked that. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I am confident in my opinion when I don't like something now. And I don't think that would have been possible without that comic, you know? So I very much like that book.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah. When I heard you, I don't know if you talked about it on the Spectacular Spider-Man series.
I believe I did.
Yeah, when you talked about that, I was like, it's interesting to see that something like that can have that effect, where it needs to catch you at the right time.
Yeah,
you know, and then it sticks with you forever.
I actually think in terms of when that came out, I think that might have been the reason that I made the rewrite, because I was like, man, I wish he was written like this. That actually might be the case.
That's like even more.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But for me, favorite issue, favorite run anywhere. I mean, my go-to answer for this question a lot of time is the Ultimate Venom Volume 6 thing, because I grew up with that so much, you know. I will say I read Renew Your Vows again, and
banger.
I mean, go watch Doug's video on it. It's awesome.
Great.
That's getting up there too, of like, okay, this is a comic that's like insane and awesome and crazy. And then I mean, to me also another just personal one is I don't know, I'm kind of a big Ultimate Spider-Man guy just because it was something I grew up with, and I want to do a big revisit of it too, to really understand what's good and what's bad about the whole run. But Death of Spider-Man was something I didn't know was happening. I saw the cover and I'm like, okay, he's gonna die, I guess. But I didn't like understand that what was going on, because this was back in like middle school when I didn't understand the concept of like, oh, they're all different continuities and shit. I just thought Ultimate Spider-Man was Spider-Man. And so then when I saw him die, I was like, oh fuck, he's dead. Jeez. And I don't know, that just had like a big impact on me. To be like, it changed the way I thought about like Spider-Man too, in general. And I know Bendis is not the best writer sometimes, but I just think that moment was executed really well. So, and those are my go-tos. I need to read more Spider-Man in general too.
Yeah.
So
not the current run.
Probably in a year.
Not the current run after the shit show that went down.
It's not good.
Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what they did?
No. What did they do?
They spent. I don't want to. I'm not reading it. I'm so far behind. but apparently they spent a
Okay.
very long portion. They spent this entire 73
I know
issues
the
building
Mephisto
up
stuff happened. Like they're trying to
building up to retcon a single thing, and then they ended up making it worse. And it was just weird.
Because I think I know what
yeah.
you were building. I think I know what they were building up to. I don't know how they made it worse or anything like that. I just know I heard people complaining about it. I saw a panel of a certain strange doctor, and then that's it.
The most, the let's just say the most positive Spider-Man person I've ever known, who makes reviews on the comics, he fucking hated it. He despised it, and I've never seen him hate something this much. And I was like, holy shit, this must be really bad. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, I think that unless you had anything else to say, I think that's a wrap on episode. This episode.
We went for a bit too, but it was good. I think we covered a good amount of things that were
I didn't talk enough about Descendants, but you know what can you do?
Yeah, that's true. And you know, I didn't talk enough about All-Star Batman and Robin.
I swear to God, we were so close. We were so close.
That's my favorite Spider-Man. We were, but that was just the first episode. From here. Hey, come on, baby! My favorite comic book of all time.
Oh no!
At some point, I'm gonna like actually buy it. I don't have it. I know you have it, but I don't.
No, I gave them both to my friend. I was like, I don't want this shit.
Oh.
But I might have. I actually have a fun idea for a video on that one day. But
okay.
But yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. This has been TroyBoy17 coming at you live. I've been joined by Mithi. I am gonna pull
Thank
up.
You for listening.
I'm gonna do a quick little patron shout out actually, because
do it.
Because actually I got a Patreon. Come on, let me log in. Patreon. Come on.
Why are you doing that? Go watch Coda.
Watch Coda. Everybody go watch Coda. Current tier. It's so okay. Patreon is the website does not let you easily.
It's a weird UI.
It does not let me easily see the people that donate $6. It's very frustrating. But anyway, thank you so much to Cassidy Bond, Iron Ninja, Jonah, Logan Triplet Films, Lord Korb, Sam Wright, and our great buddy Tyler Goodrich for being spectacular fanboys on my Patreon. If you would like to join our Patreon, that is at patreon.com/TroyBoy17. And I think from now on we're going to start pulling page. I'll start putting question polls on the Patreon to get a couple questions from there.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'll make sure the Patreon's linked in the top.
Yeah,
of the
that's gonna do. That's gonna do. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been TroyBoy17 coming at you live. Remember to be safe from COVID. Black Lives Matter. Be responsible. It's been Mithi. I've been joined, and I will see you around.
Thank you for having me. Spider-Man.